Welcome, one and all, throughout time and space, for this episode of Weebs on the Weekends, the podcast where we give a retrospective look at an anime that premiered 10 years ago or more and see if they meet the standards of modern day anime. Today's episode is the podcast's annual tradition where we review the previous animes that was published in this year, and they essentially fight for the coveted spot on the esteemed Weebs on the Weekends top 10 anime list for the year. And as always, you have your host, your boy, Sam Martinez, part-time Weeb, full-time automobile mechanic. But today's episode is a little bit special as we have two returning guests. We have none other, the OG Jay among us, and we have a not so new yet newer regular guest, Alonso. Now, hopefully these two will be a little bit more agreeable with me, because we were in the middle of recording earlier when I realized that I did not hit the recording button. But now here we are, and the button has been hit and recording, and we would like to hear from the both of you on how you feel coming back on the pod.
Like my last name could be Among Us, so my full name is Jay Among Us. So
Jay Among Us.
It's so cool, like breaking the fourth wall with the opening. So I'm glad to be back, and this feels so familiar.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. How about you, Alonso? How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's always fun to come back, talk to y'all about anime and whatnot.
Yes. And oh my goodness, I'd say like this year, as we had mentioned a little bit earlier, that this year a lot has happened in regards to anime. We have Netflix coming into the game, and I know I said this before, but I have to go on record. Duolingo made an anime, and it's not bad. I have to make that known. And Alonso had mentioned before too, like another anime. Well, you go ahead and you can go on record, Alonso's like there was an anime that caught you off guard that we all seem to have enjoyed. What anime was that?
Oh yeah, we do lovingly call this anime One Punch Lady, and if you've watched the show, you know exactly what we're talking about. But for those of you who don't, it's May I Ask for One Final Thing. Kind of came out of nowhere for us, was not on our radar whatsoever. Seemed like just another villainess show, and then was surprisingly better than we expected.
Yes, that it was. And Jay, coming back, are you excited or worried to see how our lists will be as we continue with this pod?
Yeah, that's really funny because I enjoyed the previous episode you guys did last year for the 2024 anime. It's like, and I appreciate it that you like you took mine into account as well, and I love the final list. But yeah, this year I think I probably have 5 anime on my list that you guys won't have. You'll have them benched, so I'm looking forward to being proven wrong, so I have time and space to talk about the anime that I love this year. But I'm so excited to talk about things this year.
Awesome. And uh new listeners and old listeners, just a bit of a recap. The way that we like to compile our list is each member on the pod, we come together with what we believe would be the top 10 anime, and we essentially discuss and see which of our picks gets to be on the list. And the way that we go about this is by playing a game that we call Weeb Skitball. And as the creator of said game, Jay, would you like to go over the rules for our newcomers here?
Oh yes, I can be put on the spot real quick about this. So, Weeb Football is combining some sports lingo and blending it with like Weeb culture. So we have the 3, I guess, determinations of yeet, Kobe, and bench. So yeet means that a entry is higher on someone's list, so you yeet it further up to save the discussion later. For the higher the ranking of that anime is, you have bench, meaning that it's off someone's list or it can be multiple people's lists, or you can have it all by yourself. And then Kobe, which is you've nailed the spot. So maybe my 10 is also your 10. So we go one by one, from 10 to 1. And if any of those determinations is like, oh yeah, we'll say, oh, Kobe or Yeet or Bench.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Now, I'm kind of curious. So, let's say, Alonso, how many on your list do you think will make it to the top 10?
Like which ones I think are shared amongst us.
Yes, which one? How many? I think we could probably do like a little betting thing. I can see that like being like a little fun thing. It's just like um how many? I guess like in spades, right? Where it's like you can like say like how many books you're gonna get, right? So like you can so essentially like I want your take on how many of your list is going to make it on the top 10.
5.
5. Okay. What about you, Jay?
I was going to say 5 too.
Okay. So let me see. I think. Hmm. I'm gonna go with. Actually, I think 6. Looking at my
Okay.
list, I think 6 is going to make it. All right. And well, before we go any further, do we have like any honorable mentions that didn't necessarily make your top 10 lists that you think should still be seen, or you know
Well,
they didn't cut the mustard and we should just keep pushing?
well, you made a caveat there that I was like,
Mhm.
oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't say it. You
Oh.
specifically said that should be seen, and I was like, well, there's one that honorable mention, but I can't ever recommend it to anyone. So it's fantastic, but don't watch it.
This thing is the best thing ever, but it's not for you, right? Way
Yeah,
to go with the reverse psychology there. Are
look,
you?
I'm just
Yeah.
look. It's for me. I don't know if it's on one of your lists, but ultimately, I can't recommend this show to anyone because it is a devastating experience in the best way possible. Um,
Oh, okay. I see what you're
it's
talking about now.
it's Takapi's original sin.
Hmm.
Great, like display of so many messed up things. True tragedy. Um, it is. I can't recommend it though because you have to be in the mental space to be able to go through that show. I can't recommend it, but it may be on someone else's list. I'm not sure. Um, but that's the only reason that it's not on mine. Otherwise, it would be. But I just can't recommend it to other people because you have to be in a very specific mental state to watch it. Otherwise, sure, go for it. I don't know. It's your life.
I would say like this is a caveat because like I've watched it too, and like to Alonso's testament, he had binged it, and he's like I had to step away from it for a couple of days. So it's like okay, I understand that. Um, Jay, do you have any honorable mentions, or do you want to wait on yours until like say we get to like our number one spot, or you
I
want to
know I
just
can talk about them. I have a long list, so I watched 17 new animes this year, and that's not
ooh.
counting sequel series.
Hmm.
But I would say like my next like my 11th place
Hmm.
for my list would be new panty and stockings. This is like for something that's been like kind of out of the lexicon for anime
Hmm.
people for so long. They came back hard, and I love the new angels that they introduce in the series. It's polyester, and I always forget the other dude's name. It's polyester.
Oh,
They're
it's
always named after clothing items.
they're twins, right? Or no?
Uh, Not twins. I think the word you're thinking about is twinks.
Oh, okay. I feel like
That's how the girls
modern
refer to
day
them.
beatnik
Oh
or
my
something
gosh,
like
it's the
that.
angel tweaks. But yeah, the comedy's on point, and I forgot if it's studio. Maybe it's Studio Trigger again. I actually didn't look into which studio was doing it, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
for sure, comedy's on point. The animation's on point. Everything that you loved about the original series, they just bring it back, and it's like, oh yeah, this is worth watching. So it's right there at the 11th spot for me.
Okay, that's fair. Um, I would say now you mention it. Okay, so I guess like this sort of works. So like for me, my 11th spot would be red. What would be Sentai Red Isekai de Baukensha ni Naru. Essentially, it's a Red Ranger Isekai. Um, it's a Red Ranger. He gets isekai'd, and it's just funny because when he gets isekai'd to the new world, he has his Red Ranger abilities, and it just makes everybody so confused. And with having great love for Super Sentai and seeing that with the isekai story elements. It's just very, very interesting. I didn't get a chance to finish it, but it was a good time. So if you're into that sort of thing, I really do suggest it, especially if you are a big Red Ranger fan. Now, that being said, it is time, gentlemen, for our top 10 list. And we will go with our number 10. And what we'll do is we'll start out with our OGJ giving out his number 10.
All right. Hey. All right. So going to get ready to hear a bunch of benches, but my number 10 spot is Tatsuki Fujimoto 1726.
Ooh, okay.
Is that the anthology?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't get a chance to watch it, so
Oh,
unfortunately, it is
fair.
meant for me. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, no, it's on my to watch list. Unfortunately.
I would say, like, for me, that is a bench. But Jay, would you please tell us what you said it was? I'm sorry, I've got like the rap song in my head, 1738. What's the anime title again?
All right. Yeah. So this is Tatsuki Fujimoto 17 to 26. This is the creator of Chainsaw Man. That's kind of what he's known for, or, what he's been
Oh,
popularized to been known for. But this is an
yes.
anthology series. You can
Mhm.
find it on Amazon Prime. Not sponsored, but it is 8 episodes of like every episode is about 15 to 17 minutes. And this is in the way of Look Back. I think, Alonso, you saw Look Back last year, right?
I did not. It's
Okay.
also still on my to watch list, but I think what you're getting to is that it's like a very similar like experimental art style, right?
Yes, yeah. So it's very much like for the guy that's known as the dude that writes for a manga that is like blood and gore and
Mhm.
like really just deep tragedy moments. Like this anthology series is just really like down to earth and grounded in like these very simple like human stories. One of them is a little bit more sci-fi than the others, or like more in the vein of Chainsaw Man, but his first work was Fire Punch, which is probably going to get animated, you know, whenever Chainsaw Man gets finished. But in the year that the movie came out for Chainsaw Man, the Riza arc,
Yeah.
this kind of got overlooked. But for an anthology series that's I think done by 5 different studios, so kind of how Star Wars Visions treated their episodes, like each episode is done basically by another studio. And I think my favorite episode was called Sisters. And the premise is really straightforward. A younger sister paints her older sister naked. And because they go to an art school, um, that naked photo of her sister gets hung up in like the main hall of the school. So, uh, and like kind of the whole sister dynamic of like, why would you do this? And like this sibling separation anxiety when you grow up, and like, especially when you're comparing yourself to your sibling and how successful they are, your younger sibling might become more talented than you and outpace you. And then it's a lot of good like social stories like that. So I definitely put this at my like breaking, like my 10th spot
Yeah.
because it's really good story writing and just very surprised that a guy that's does the Chainsaw Man is writing like this.
Oh no, like now that you mention it, because I did watch the one episode about the aliens that were eating the humans, and you had the two humans dressed up as chickens. And uh I saw clips of that, and it made me go back and watch that particular episode. I didn't know that each episode was a different studio, as you said. But back to your point about the writer writing very thoughtful things, because I did see he did do a one shot where he essentially had the story. I forget what it's called. But essentially, like this one kid was making a movie, and he ran into a girl that was a big cinephile, and just showing the writer's love for cinema, about sitting down, watching movies, and things like that. So it's definitely a breath of fresh air to know that creator can write that type of stories and not just good beat 'em up stuff like that. I would say like that's a
Yeah,
very
I think
good
that's
written.
the main point about it is that like we don't really get to see like different sides to a creator or a mangaka. So like these are like
Mhm.
very nice like little slices of like his personality or his art style or how he thinks of things. So yeah, worth checking out.
Oh no, for sure. Now, Alonso, what is your number 10?
Well, weirdly enough, it's kind of appropriate what you chose for the number 10 spot. My number 10 is To Be Hero X.
Ooh, that is a yeet for me.
That's also a yeet for me.
Okay, that's surprising. I'll talk about it in a few, I guess.
I think, well, I guess because we did talk about it where it's like if it gets like if it's higher on the list.
Mhm.
So like we wait to talk about it until like it gets on like the highest, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Right?
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Just making sure. All right. So with that, my number 10 is the anime Your Forma.
Bench.
Bench.
Okay. So this anime, I'm trying to remember, was it on Amazon? Was it where I was watching it? But I do believe it was Amazon. But essentially it's sort of like a murder mystery sort of thing with it sort of melds with androids like iRobot, as well as diving into a person's psyche, say like It Invaded or Ghost in the Shell. Essentially, you have these automatons known as your formas, and there's a handful of your formers that are so, what's the word for it? So high grade, so well performative that they need to be looked after. Um, but essentially, like in this world, is like you have like these crimes that happen, and you would have a detective essentially like jack in to the perpetrator or to a victim to sort of see like what their last moments were to try to piece things together. And you follow this detective with one of those five your formulas that I previously mentioned, and it's a decent like detective story, but it doesn't really pick up until later on in the show where it starts to play around with the rules. And I mentioned like I wrote because like they have the same rules, the same like three rules for humanity, and it really does push the boundary a little bit on like what it means like to be human and what it means to have a relationship with an automaton. It's like, do you really know like it's real or if they're just playing you? Things like that. So it's a fairly interesting thing, and that's why it's on the bottom of my list. Um,
When you say
mhm.
the three rules of humanity, are you talking about Asimov's three rules of robotics or laws of robotics?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay,
Whereas
gotcha.
like you have to protect human life, they can't harm humans. I
Mhm.
think there was like another one
Yeah, it's
as
like
well.
by
Yeah.
your inaction, you cannot inadvertently harm human life.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's very interesting because you have one automaton where they're essentially tied up and there's a serial killer on the loose. They see the serial killer abuse their owner, and the automaton can't do anything about it. So it's just like they really push that. But like I said, like that's like much later on in the series. Like that's when it starts to pick up. So like that's why
Yeah.
it's so far down on the list of mine. So
Yeah.
that was our number 10. So now we'll go to number 9. And we will start with Alonso this time. Alonso, what is your number 9 on your top 10 list?
I'm pretty sure this is gonna get yeeted already, but my number 9 is Gachi Akata.
Ooh.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have no idea what your list is going to look like because these. Okay, that's a yeet for me for sure. What anime did you watch this year?
But look,
No, but
I told you
yeets.
that my list ended up being so much more of just like what I generally enjoy more,
Mhm.
like
Oh, gotcha.
genre wise, versus like what like cause like don't get me wrong, like this fully came down to like just my preferences into like what I enjoy watching, like in general, and then just there were also things that are like just very good, right? And so it's all the very good stuff, and now we're just and towards the top is just all of my preferences basically. So
Okay.
Gotcha.
No, that's fair. That's fair. So we're gonna see if now I'm kind of interested to see whose books are gonna get filled up first. If it's gonna be, it seems like Alonso's like in the lead right now. Um, and but to what Jay said, like that's also a yeet for me. Now, Jay, what is your number 9?
I'm sure Alonso's going to say yeet to this one, but my number 9 is May I Ask for One Final Thing.
Ooh.
that is a yeet for me, yeah.
So that is a bench for me, but I would say like it's
All right, you
good
can get
that
out of
it's
this
made
call
this.
right now. But no.
Yeah, for real.
You guys are just gonna kick me off. It's like, oh no.
This guy's been disqualified.
For me, my number 9 is City the Animation.
That's a yeet for me.
Really?
That's
Okay.
a bunch for me. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
All right. All
I'm
right. All right.
sorry. It looks so good. I'm sorry about it. I'm so sad. I'll just I have basically a free week next week. I'll make time.
Okay, so this was really good. This was a fast round for number 9. Okay, so now we will go on to number 8, and I'll go off first this time. I think this may be a bench for everybody, but it'll be Gundam G-Quux.
Yes, that's a bench.
That was a bunch for me.
I won't hop on it too long. I know we did watch this a little bit. I think it was like the first 3 episodes that we gave it, but essentially what G-Quux is, it's sort of a historical fiction to the original Universal Century timeline, where in the beginning of Gundam, the very first one, we see Zeon trying to steal the original mobile suit that is to be the Gundam. And in the original series, they get forward in that plan. And in G-Quux, we see an alternate timeline in which they succeed. And the events that follow afterwards, there's a fast forward where we follow these kids who are in a space colony. And I would say, at least like for me, being a Gundam mecha fan, it was a good fun ride. The end got a little meh, but it sort of came back to itself to where it made my list. Now,
Okay, wait. Before
yeah,
I continue, I do need to ask. Okay,
yes.
so you said this show was a fun ride and it ended kind of meh for you, right?
Oh, it went meh and then it came
No,
back
no,
a little bit. Yeah,
yeah,
it went
it came
down
back,
and went back up.
but
It leveled
but
out.
then you don't put One Punch Lady on your list. What? Not judging. Just trying to understand.
I hear the judgment. I hear the judgment. I hear the judgment. It's like
No,
yeah,
legitimately, I am joking. Like,
yeah.
I do find it curious because, granted, I did not watch you watch. We didn't end up finishing watching Gundam
Mhm.
G-Quox together. But we did go through all of, may I ask one final thing?
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed as though you thoroughly enjoyed it, which is why I was confused. It is perfectly okay for you not to have enjoyed as much as we did. That's fine.
I would say, and I want to talk about like One Punch Lady when we get to it, and I can give a little bit of my reasoning then, if you're okay with that, sir.
Oh, by all means, yeah.
But now, Alonso, what is your number 8?
My number 8 is Solo Leveling.
Wait,
Bench. Oh, season 2. Yeah.
oh,
But
season
yeah,
2.
bench.
Okay, yeah, that is a bench for me as well.
That's surprising. Okay.
Mhm.
I guess yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. I kind of had asked y'all about like whether it's fair or not to like,
Oh, this is the one you were talking about. Yeah.
yeah, is having read the manga, I know what's coming up. I'm evaluating this like, oh, this show has been so good so far,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just gonna get better. So I might be giving it like extra points just for like what's gonna be coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the great things that came out of this season in particular was something that pissed off so many people on the internet apparently was Jinwoo crying at saving his mother, right?
That pissed people off?
People were saying, no, he's too manly. Why would he ever cry? It was
What?
revealing who were the very like virgin like incels, basically, right?
Yeah.
It was a Rorschach test, right? If
Yeah.
you saw this moment as, oh, this is him finally realizing his moment, and like having an emotional reaction to it as a normal person would,
Mhm.
right? You're probably like a normal person, well off. If you thought, why would he cry there? That's insane. He would never. You're probably an incel. You need to look inside yourself and try to like, why would someone crying make you feel so angry, right? Like you need to figure that out. Get some help. It's okay. We're all here for you.
It's
But
not like
I
he
thought
ugly cried either. He had the sexy cry.
he did exactly. He even had the sexy cry, but it was still just an emotional moment for him, like because the character is much deeper than the anime does show off, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, that's why it's on my top 10. Why it's my number 8.
Yeah.
It did a lot of good things. There's just more things that are going to be coming. Animation was amazing. Fight scenes were great. And we'll see where it goes. Otherwise, honestly, I would like if it weren't for me knowing what's coming next, it would actually be my number 9, and Gachi Akita was going to be my number 8. That's the one that kind of got
Yeah.
bumped. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's fair. Okay, any thoughts on that before you give your number 8?
Just for season 2. So this is like the Red Gate arc, and how does this season end?
I think it's on the island, right? Or off the island.
No, we're all like so. This is like right after um Jeju Island.
Yeah.
So this is where we're about to start meeting all of the other S rank hunters.
Oh, that's where it is in the story. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like passively familiar with the series, and I think I watched a few episodes of this, especially with the he's not the Ant King, but who's the Ant King dude?
Oh, I forgot the name that he gave
I was
him.
gonna call him Beerus, but it's not Beerus. But his name does spell with a B.
I think it
Right,
is
yeah.
Beerus. I think it is Beerus. It's not spelled like the cat, but it is different.
Right,
Beru,
yeah. So I
Beru,
did see the
Beru,
fight, and
Beru.
Eru. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, better, yeah. So again, yeah, like you said, Alonso, like the animation was on point, and I even like the like technical aspect of it, especially when you have like Jinwoo's fighting style and like how he combines skills and like how when he learns things, he's incorporating them into the next fight. So you can see how it's actually how it feels like very RPG about that. But yeah, I enjoy the abridged series more.
I
Done
forgot.
by
This is one of those that you just watch the abridged.
yeah, I think it's Rad S or Rad Pretty. I forgot who it was on YouTube, but yeah, it's the abridged version where he's like sleeping with everyone. It's like the sister route and the mom route and like
What?
uh, I forgot what the other routes
Uh-huh.
are. But yeah, it's just really funny, like to absorb the content of solo leveling through that lens. But yeah, it's a good placement here for you, I think. So yeah,
Okay.
I approve.
Nice. Now, Jay, what is your number 8?
All right, so it was just a short jump from your number 9, which is City the Animation.
Oh, okay. So we can talk about City then.
So beautiful. You always forget like how certain animes can look because this is so like Ponyo colored with like kind of with like Copic markers. Like everything, I want to rewatch it again because the level of like storytelling that's going on in the
Mm-hmm.
background, I only caught a few moments of it, but like there's like things happening in the background of the story that like you can kind of keep track of. But yeah, this is a spiritual sequel to Nichijou,
Mm-hmm.
and wow, I like listen to the OP every single episode because there's just like this big band kind of like jazzy line that
Yes.
goes on in the opening that's just like so catchy to jam along with. But yeah, it's a story about these three roommates. They're I believe they're in university or one of them's like not in university. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's the same kind of setup to Nichijou. It's just like three close friends kind of dealing with this very chaotic um city and the different people, and you know you get attached to them, and it's just like Japanese humor, which I was like, oh yeah, I forget that you know, humor or comedy is one of those subjective things that elicit your funny reaction from it. So when you go into a different culture, you're like, oh yeah, this would work in that culture because they're kind of used to this kind of medium of comedy. But yeah, everything hits. There wasn't really a big like when I think of Nichijou, I think of that scene with the deer and the vice principal.
Yes. Yes.
um, but in City, I feel like it's just like one piece. It's like there's a
Mm-hmm.
continuous flow of everyone's stories into each other. Because even at the very end, they do like this musical number where everyone shows up and like they're like, "Oh yeah, these are the things we learned along the way." And it's like the emotional heart isn't even in the three main characters, and it's like the side story of these other two high school students who are basically being separated because one girl has to move abroad.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the comedy's on point. The animation's beautiful. It has the same Nichijou vibe, so it gets my recommendation for that on that basis alone. But it's like, oh yeah, for a year that had like a new Black Butler and a new Dragon Ball Z series and like all these like even like I mentioned Penny and Stockings. It's like for it to be resurrected, I guess Nichijou to have a follow up sequel was like, oh yeah, this is definitely going on my list. So if I didn't talk about Penny and Stockings, this is kind of taking the place of Penny and Stockings for like a spiritual successor.
Oh no, I would
Okay.
say I definitely agree with you where like the animation is so and the color palette it's just so very well done. And I would say like where this anime succeeds or like does better than Nichijou, whereas it's City the animation like it feels like the whole city is a character almost, right? Where it's just like everything's like happening in the city and the interconnectedness of the storylines. I because with Nichijou, it's all like very vignette and they're not all directly connected. And so like with City, um, it's not necessarily like one cohesive storyline, but like each vignette is almost directly directed or like indirect by maybe 2 degrees. Like each story is like that closely directed with each other in each episode. Like that was something that I wasn't very that I wasn't expecting. So that was a nice change up. And
You kind of get, yeah, I think that's a perfect way you said it. Sam was like the city feels like a character in itself. It's like
mhm,
all these moving parts. Even if you like look at a show like Cells at Work, it feels kind of like that. It's like
mhm.
everybody interacts with each other, so like everyone's stories kind of collide in different ways.
Yep. And I would say too, like the reason why it was like at my number 9, um, not only was this one I was able to finish, whereas your former I didn't finish, but like with this, as you had mentioned earlier, there's no real iconic scenes, which that's not bad. It's just a bit different. But like with me, like with Nichijou, like when you said the deer and the vice principal, it's like I immediately knew what you said, like just because of like how good like that scene was. Whereas like with Nietzsche with City, there's no real like standout, but as you said, like you have to take it in as a whole, right? And so I guess like it's a bit of a toss up like for me on like whether or not like it should be low on the list because of that, but it was just like an observation for me. Um but no, it'll be good, and it will be interesting to get Alonso's take on it once he finally gets to his watch list about it.
It'll happen, I swear.
Now that we've got that done, we are going to go to our number 7 slot. And for number 7, Jay, why don't you start us off with our number 7?
All right, it feels like this is another case for a yeet on Alonso's part, but this is Fragrant Flowers Bloom with Dignity.
Ooh.
That is, in fact, a yeet for me.
That is a bench for me, so don't get mad at me too much, guys.
No, that one makes sense. That one makes sense.
All right, I'm just marking it now. So, Alonso, what is your number 7?
My number 7 is Senshu. Senshu.
That is a yeet for me.
Oh, snap.
And a bench for me.
What?
Okay.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
No, I get it. There's a reason it's as low as it is on my list. But I have a feeling I know what he may end up saying, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so for me, my number 7, I think this is going to be a bench for both of you guys. It is Milky Subway, the Galactic Limited Express.
It is in fact
That's
a bench. Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't that on YouTube this year?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
This is an in the cut one, and I have to push up my hipster glasses because oddly enough, like the only reason why I knew about this anime was because I was following the animator for some time. Both of you know this, but because I've been working on my animation, my animation skills, I've been following different artists on YouTube, and this particular artist was using characters and doing like little one shots, and one shot was this android and this alien girl where they were essentially just joyriding in this car in space, and it was very nice and fun. And this anime, I think it's like an 8-part series, very short episodes, maybe like 5 to 8 minutes long each episode, but essentially it's a continuation of that one shot where the android and the alien, again, they're joyriding and they get pulled over. Essentially, the series, it's similar to a Breakfast Club type setup where essentially they get put on cleaning duty to serve their time because their prisons are already maxed out and their charges aren't that extensive. And so they're essentially cleaning this subway line, and each episode it sort of follows or gives a little bit of a backdrop to like each group of characters that's there, and it flashes back and forth between their time on the subway and why they were arrested, and it was very, very well done. And I would say too, it's it was well done in the sense that like it had multiple languages. It was Chinese, Japanese, and in English when they voiced it, and the animation is done very, very well. The aesthetic is also very 80s. I had mentioned this series to Alonso once before when we were watching the video game awards, because there was that one video game that was very 80s. Do you remember that game that was supposed to be released?
You're talking about the one that literally looks like an 80s anime?
Yes.
Like so it was straight out of like a Daft Punk music video?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. And I would say like it's very, very in that same vein, right? As terms
Okay.
of like the aesthetic and the characters. And it's nice and light and very cohesive. The writing is strong. I would say the end it's feels a little bit Deus Ex Machina, but
Mhm.
it's still very, very good for the most part, and I would suggest it. So
Okay.
that was my number 7, and we can go on.
Just real quick
Yes.
before we move on.
Yeah.
It's a short form thing, right? Like the episodes are like 8 minutes long or something like that, or like 10 minutes,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And like I said, it's not a long it's not a long episode count. Like it's maybe
Mhm.
like 5 to
12
8.
episodes.
Say again?
I mean, like for the anime release schedule for when it premiered in or showed on Tokyo TV, it was
Mhm.
12 episodes.
Yep. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was 12. So we'll be on to our number 6. And with that, Alonso, what is your number 6?
I don't know where this will land for y'all. I'll be honest. We'll see. My number 6
Mm-hmm.
is Shangri-La Frontier,
Oh, season 2?
season 2.
Oh, that is a bench for me. And
Wow.
no. It's
Well, it's a bench for me too, but
I would
fair.
say like
I love we can talk about it because geez, was this a season?
oh my goodness. Yes.
I don't know. Again,
Mhm.
maybe overvaluing its niche, right? But the isekai, like, not even isekai because it's not that. It's the like just playing an MMO. Okay,
Yes.
playing an MMO as an anime. Have always loved it since back in Dot Hack Sign with Log Horizon. It hits a very niche thing that I enjoy watching.
Mhm.
And then they went and they said, we don't have to just do the MMO. This guy's a gamer. He can do everything. And then we started doing a fighting game, right? Like
Mhm.
it expanded it in a way that was interesting. That then they brought back into the MMO because these MMOs aren't just like our normal MMOs. They're three-dimensional. You have VR experiences that like you can do a lot more in, right? I thought it was fantastic. Very fun way to like putting everything together there. Jay, thoughts?
Yes, because like how to do like escalation for like a series like this is crazy because we revisit the boss that he stumbled upon in the first season, which I
Yes.
was like, dude, that is baller to come back to that main boss. And then also, not to spoil anything, but like how that resolves itself is like so ingenious to like make you feel like, oh, this is a very well thought out game. Because kind of in the way that Sword Art Online was not really thought out as a
Mhm.
game, as a video
Mhm.
game of that people can actually play it, but this is. And then like you were saying how it wraps up, I think the last 6 episodes are about that fighting tournament that he goes off to fight
Yep.
out in the real world. But yeah, the only reason I kept it off my list is because I kind of incorporated this year for my list is to not double dip, and I did put it on my list back in 2023 when I first talked about Shangri-La Frontier when it came out. So I was like, you know what? I'm sure Alonzo will talk about it, so I'll just piggyback off of his piggyback. But yeah, Sunraku, and I think what really impressed me about the season was like this idea of improvisation when it comes to
Yes.
handling certain bosses and like fight mechanics and like working with what you have. And then this was the season also they go they find another I forgot what they call it, but another boss, like another secret
They're not
Yeah.
leviathans.
calamity. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
It's
they're
like,
called something. They're like the 7 or 8 like
Colossus, I think.
colossi or
oh,
something
Yeah.
like yeah.
yeah. And I was like, whoa, this came up a lot sooner because like they're intermingling like these creatures, and like there's some kind of there feels like there's something sinister going on behind the background. It's like maybe there's like advanced AI or something in it. So
Well,
there's a lot of intrigue to that.
yeah,
Because they show
because
you like the game developer.
yeah, and talking about like, wait, they did this quickly. How are they doing
Mhm.
this? We need to make this harder. And like, this is the
Mhm.
brilliant part. They're patching the game, right? It's not just
Yeah.
like, oh, this is just because part of it I think is like there is some sort of like AI growing here or whatever that may be something dubious at the end. But there's also
Mhm.
the devs aren't just like we don't know what's
Passively.
going on. They're very active. They are like they beat this too quickly. We need to make this harder, right? For whatever reason. It might will it like if the reason is oh for lore perspective, this should not have been that easy. We need to make this more difficult, or well, we need to make it harder because we need to have them play longer, or whatever reason that they have, right? But the devs are an active like participant in this world.
Mhm.
Every other anime that I've thought about, that doesn't happen. The games are just made and they're just released, and that's it. Maybe there's a new expansion that introduces new content, but they don't change things. But if you are a gamer like I am, you know games they update pretty regularly, especially live service games, right? MMOs they change every patch. There's a patch notes for something that changes. There's I mean I play League of Legends, like that updates literally every 2 weeks, right? Things change constantly. So to see that be part of the story, refreshing.
I think too.
Yeah, I think it was like during the Crystal Scorpion part. It was like, oh yeah, they fixed this because I was using the spot to like
He was using
farm
a bug, so
items.
they fixed the
Right.
bug.
Like
It's like, oh yeah, that's
no.
brilliant to one, like as a gamer to like realize that, oh, now this has been fixed, and then how do I get around it again? So he's not really going out of his way to like find the breaks, but that's just something that happens when you're playing a game. You just stumble upon it. So yeah, like we are saying, like, oh yeah, they're actually actively responding to what's going on in their game. It's like refreshing to see that.
I would say to what Alonso had mentioned, like with Shangri-La Frontier being a live service game, this is like the first time where, well, not necessarily the first time, but like when, I guess a good depiction of like what a live service game is, because some of the other ones would be like Overlord or Log Horizon, where it's like they're isekai'd into that world, so they're having to deal with like actual people. You could say that I think Good Night World, you are dealing with a live service game, but it doesn't feel like it.
Exactly.
Whereas, as you said, in Shangri-La, it's like the developers, they are active in this. And whereas in Good Night World, it's like, it seems like they've beaten the story, so like they're doing that. Whereas in Shangri-La Frontier, it's sort of like what ZZZ or what Genshin is right now, where it's like the story is just like continually going, because like
Yeah.
they mentioned like the expansion was just like a whole new part that they could explore, right? So it's like they're still building the lore, building the world. And I would say that mechanic gives you more possibilities to write, so you can, I mean, by writing, like writing the story as a whole, so you're not just like essentially like pigeonholing yourself. That was Alonso's number six. Jay, what was your number six?
All right, so maybe it's a little bit higher on your list, but my number 6 is Gachiakada.
Ooh, and yeah, that is a yeet for me.
All right.
All
Okay.
right, so that is, do that. I'm just marking it here. And now for my number six was Yeet from earlier. It was with Alonso, and it is Zen Show. So, Alonso, what were some
Oh,
of your?
I thought you said bench for yours. So
No, no, no.
you
I said
did.
Yeet. It was a bench for Jay.
Oh,
It was a bench for Jay.
got it. Okay.
But
Okay.
Alonso, you brought it up. Why was Zen Show on your list?
So honestly, it is mostly just the art style and the
Oh,
premise as a whole, right? Like the
mhm,
idea that like an artist gets isekai'd and her power is literally to draw,
mhm,
right, and animate, is in of itself just fantastic.
mhm.
the other thing, and this might just be because maybe this was the first year to do it recently or that I've seen, but like every time there is now like some sort of like realization that you love someone, I can't help but say squee because it was so funny. Okay? And then there's been anime we've watched where they literally say squee. And I lose my shit. Because I'm like, that's so funny. For that to be like the indicator of love, just like squee. Just it's so funny. But yeah, like ultimately for me, it was quote unquote my lower like 5 because the ending didn't really hit for me. But everything else about the story I thought was really interesting. Great exploration of like what would happen if this, like, if you got isekai'd into a movie or show that that's playing out. What would you do? You know?
Oh, I agree with me as well. It was everything like but the ending. It was very good. And now I am interested to hear Jay's thoughts.
It's just like it feels, or as least as I remembered it, it was the ending that kind of took me out of it because it was like, wow, that was a waste of my time. because they were because I think it's fine for like a few episodes, but if it's a 12 episode or 13 episode run, it just felt like the first 6 episodes I didn't learn anything or wasn't interesting enough. I watched Has Been Hotel for the first time this year to catch up with season 1 and 2, but it kind of feels like, you see, I can't even remember the main MC's name, and I'm usually good
Charlie.
about that. Yes. Oh no, no. From
Oh,
Zenshu.
Denshu?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember her name either. But it was
Yeah, but yeah.
go ahead.
Okay, yeah. It's like she has the Charlie problem. It's like I care the least about her, and when we get to like her, whenever that flashback episode is, when like she shows all like the other people falling in love with her, I'm like,
Oh
this
yeah.
is what I wanted. This is the interesting part.
Yeah.
It's cool for like a visual animation exercise. It's just like I didn't care about the story at all until it got into like the really nitty gritty of the ending of like, oh yeah, the actual creator comes in and like says, "Oh yeah, you can't change the outcome." And it's like, "Oh, I'm getting around to what the story is actually about, but it's far too late." If it wasn't like this was a anime that we completed, but and in the same way of, I don't know if Sanda's make anyone's list, but I'll bring up the same points about that later. But it was like, "Oh, this was just 12 episodes and I only needed 4 or 5." So it's just like, okay, it got somewhere, and I just didn't need as much runtime that it gave us.
I gotcha.
Okay. No, I see. Whereas like it could have been more concise in its message, but like you said, like because it wasn't like it's like, oh, you're just dragging me along a little bit.
Well, I mean, yeah, because it
Mhm.
seems like the first 6 episodes are getting the main dude, which again, his name escapes me, Luke.
Yes, Luke.
Um, yeah, like the first 6 episodes is about him falling in love with her, but it's like that's kind of disconnected from her finding out that she's in love with him, which is just weird to me. But maybe I'm just it's like a
Well,
romance story that's told over like a very like it's almost, it takes it almost in the Frieren way of like, well, we know that Himmel was in love with Frieren, and now she's dealing with the consequences of not
realization.
recognizing it earlier. But now
Yeah.
these two people are kind of in the same timeline, experiencing love in a different way. So I think it's a really interesting idea. I just don't like the execution of it.
Perfectly fine. I fully get it because I think what like the thing that weirded me out, but not weirded me out, but like the thing I didn't like about the ending is that it made it seem as though things clicked for her because like the whole experience was her coming to terms with what her first love was, right? And her identifying that that first love was actually Luke, right? And but the ending was like, okay, but we didn't experience that. We didn't see her have that realization. She just things happened, and then she's like, "Yep, I get it now." And I'm like, "What did you get?" Uh, I don't know because they like the ending felt very rushed.
Mhm.
It very much went like, "Oh, this is happening. Okay, cool." And we cut to she has now figured it out, and then like, "Oh, we're back in the normal world." and she made the movie. Okay,
Good
cool.
for her.
Yeah. Her name was Natsuko, by the way.
Natsuko, yes. Okay.
Oh.
All right. So those were our thoughts on our number 6. Now we're going to number 5. And I'll go ahead and I'll start off with the number 5. My number 5 is My Hero Academia Vigilantes.
Bench.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think that's officially knocks you out of how many you think you're going to pick at the end.
Oh my goodness. So I am not getting my books at all. Wait, hold on. No. Yeah.
It's not
No.
possible, yeah.
No, because I thought I was gonna get 6.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for those of you who don't know, My Hero Academia Vigilantes, it takes place, it's a spin-off of My Hero Academia, and essentially takes place in tandem with Midoriya and that main line. However, we follow a group of 3 people who essentially are quote unquote everyday people in the world of My Hero Academia. And one of them tried to become a hero and he wasn't able to complete his tests. So now he's in college. They didn't really explain what he was studying, but he's in college right now and he moonlights as a vigilante known as the Crawler, and he has a older mentor known as Knuckle, and he has a younger contemporary who is known as Pop Step, where she does little flash mob performances and tries to be an underground idol. And it's about them and their section of the city trying to keep it clean, running into drugs that do have a tie with some of the main villains in My Hero Academia. And it's very interesting seeing another side of things. And I would say another side of that universe where, okay, where you have these people that feel so strongly about wanting to become heroes, but they don't have the means or they can't be heroes through the legit means. And so they have to be vigilantes, which they, in their universe, explained was like the first start of heroes in that society. I would say like the way that it was just very very well done in how you get tied to the characters and how they influence one another, and it's just very very fun because Knuckle, he is like an amalgamation of Wildcat from DC, as well as, I'm trying to think, like just like that older gruff guy who says it like it is and has multiple facets of him that you didn't really know that he had. And it's just very interesting seeing his personality bounce off of the Crawler and Pop Steps and the different references that you would see in My Hero, you would see in Vigilantes too, because you literally have 2 characters that look like Wolverine and Cyclops pal around with them, and it's hilarious to me. So, and it's like the reason why I said my number 5 is because like from here on, it's like everything's like very very close together, and as far as like why how high I like them, so like it's just from this point on, it's just very hard to distinguish that for me. But that was my number 5. Jake, what is your number 5?
All right. I think this is another yeet potentially for Sam. But my number 5 is To Be Hero X.
Oh, that is a yeet for me.
That is also surprising. I'm surprised I had it the lowest, and that it's even on your list.
I know. I'm surprised it's on Jay's. So like, it would be very, very interesting to see what his is, and or like what his reasoning for it to be on his list is. Now, Lonzo, what is your number 5?
May I ask for one final thing?
Ooh.
Is my number 5.
Hey.
Because because I think this is the highest for because I think because some loser boo did not put it on his list, but like much like Spike Spiegel said, I love a woman who can kick my ass, right? Like, and man, can she kick ass! Like
Mhm.
Scarlet, is like the epitome of like what to call it, like violent, but with literal like she is not just easy to like anger and that's why she's violent. She's violent because justice demands retribution, right?
Mhm.
That is what she brings to like her world. She will bring down justice upon those who do unjust things, right? Um and I don't know, look, we watched the dub. It was fantastic
Mhm.
because there's just little quirks that you can't really understand when you're watching it in Japanese, but in English, there was this line where she calls someone a little beach, not a bitch, a little beach, and it was perfect. Okay, look, it's great. Go watch it. It's funny. Watch the sub if you want, but like it was on point. Jay.
Yeah, so I had this in the number 9 spot because of all the reasons Alonso just laid out. But I think the thing that really caught me by surprise is how well the world is put together.
Mhm.
Because again, like they could gloss over certain things. I mean, I'm thinking about other like villainous stories. Not that this is one, but like how sometimes stories kind of default to that Eurocentric design for cities and like magic systems. But I liked how they have this like contract of like you have to discover your magical aptitude or like your the goddess that's like
Blessing.
yeah, the
Yeah.
blessing. Thank you. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's an interesting take on this. Like everyone has a magical um
Blessing.
capability, but you kind of have to stumble upon it, which they never answer about how they do
Mhm.
that. But I think that's very interesting, and I liked how they introduced like certain characters, like Saint Seiya, not Saint Seiya. What's Saint Diana?
Say
Yes.
that,
Yeah, yeah. And I was like the idea of like the world being like, oh, okay, so we have like protections, we have monsters, we might have a underworld realm, and then Scarlet is just she's such like if we were going to have like a top 10 like MCs of the year, I think she's probably number one.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just a good time, no alcohol required, just like fun
Ooh,
jaunt
that's a
through
good
this
line.
magical world, and like you just watch this woman just one punch everyone,
Hmm.
which is a good time.
Oh, for real. I would say like the reason why this one didn't make my list was because
You
I
have bad taste.
no, I would say
I am just kidding. I am just kidding.
I would say because I enjoyed it watching with you guys. I know like if I watched it on my own, I would not have finished it, but
Mm,
it's just like one of those things where it's like I enjoyed watching it with you guys, and I was able to appreciate it because you guys had appreciated it, and I was able to, and because of that, I was able to see, oh, that's why they appreciate it. Now I appreciate it, like that sort of thing.
mhm.
Um, so like it was fun, and like when season 2 comes out, I'll be watching it with you guys too. But just be honest, like if it was on my own, I probably would not have finished it. So
How come?
I uh so like one of the questions like Jay had mentioned, right? Is like
Mhm,
they all have blessings, right? And everybody knows this in the world. As far as we
mhm,
know, and we saw them go to school, there was
mhm,
no real way or no way shown uh what test or anything to do to see what blessing or what deity is trying to help you out or anything else like that, which is mind-boggling to me. And like that in itself is frustrating that they don't address it, or at least that they hadn't addressed it thus far. That was our number fives. Now we will be going on to our number fours. Now, Alonso,
mhm.
what is your number four?
Look, apparently I am the sequel man because my number 4, actually, there's only one thing left on here that isn't a sequel series for me. But my number 4 is Apothecary Diaries, season 2.
Ooh, that is a bench for
All right,
me.
bench.
Yeah, figured as much because you guys aren't doing sequels. For full, did not think about that whatsoever. But yeah, I don't know. Look, Apothecary Diaries continues to like just be really good. Go watch the first season if you haven't seen it. It has phenomenal MC, who loves. I need to say this correctly. Drugs, but not like
Not hard drugs.
pharmaceutical. Yeah, like pharmaceutical drugs and like creating them, not like necessarily taking them. Um,
Would you
the
say that's
mysteries keep
because
compounding.
of the time that she's set in?
As in like that I enjoy it, or that she's interesting because of the time she's in.
No. I was trying to make a joke along the lines of like, oh, she only likes herbal drugs because in her time they don't have hard
I got you.
pharmaceutical drugs. But I'm sorry,
They had
I didn't
they
mean
had
to
opium.
derail you.
They had opium. What do you mean? um, but no, like I don't know. They continue. They started a plot thread in season 1, continues through season 2 to an ending, and like if you watch season 1, you probably have an inkling. Who knows? Maybe it went the way you thought. Maybe it didn't. Regardless, like mystery is really good. Mao Mao is one of the best characters ever written, in my opinion. Go watch it. It's great.
Oh, it's definitely good. I enjoyed season 2, and it was interesting. The directions that it went. I forgot what the ending was, but like it did seem like the
Okay,
next
I'll
season
be
was going to
honest.
be interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't like the ending. Like the very last scene.
yeah.
I did not enjoy the very last scene. That kind of bothered me actually. Let me make that clear. That was not okay. That was not okay. That's all I'm saying.
All right, all right. Jay, were you able to see any of Apothecary season 2 or no?
No, just checked out season 1 again. That's
Mhm.
another. I mean, I guess that would be up on the list of high MCs for Mal Mal to compete against Scarlet for top spot. But yeah, always interesting to see like how intelligence can be like portrayed in certain series. Because yeah, Mal Mal is like not villain coded, but it's very interesting to see like how the political intrigue and how she's navigating it. So it's not that I wasn't really interested in season 2, it just kind of fell by the wayside. So I don't know if I'll revisit it, but of the sequel series that came out this year, yeah, it's like, oh, should I check out Fire Force? Should I check out Kaiju number 8? Should I check out Solo Leveling? It just kind of was like, there's so much new anime to watch. So I was like, okay, I'll just put this in my sequel bucket for later.
Oh man, no, that's fair. All right, Jay, what is in your number 4 slot?
Okay, might be another yeet. I feel like that's all I've been saying. But my number 4 is Cinderella Gray.
Oh, that is a yeet
You
for
gotta
me.
say the full name. You gotta say the full name.
I really should learn how to say this name properly, but is it Una Musume?
Uma
Cinderella
Uma.
Gray?
Musume.
Uma Musume, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, that is a yeet for me. So we shall be coming back to that later. Alonso, is it on your list at all or no?
No, that is a bench for me. I did not get around to watching it. I took y'all's
Okay.
recommendation. I have added it to the list. If I like Cinderella Grey, I'll go back and watch the first season.
All right. Definitely sounds good. Now, my number 4. Oh, we get to talk about it. My number 4 is Gachiakta. And let's see. The first person that brought it up was Alonso. So, Alonso, why did Gachiakta make your list?
Okay. I'm actually gonna go over the reasons why it was so low on
Mhm.
mine, and then we kind of talk about like the great things about it. All right. My main gripe with the show, and I was harping about this the entire time we were watching it. So we were watching it
Oh.
dubbed. okay, was one character.
Mm.
I love the character. I hate the choice, or hated, let me clarify, hated the choice to make him so, like, Gen Z coded. Okay?
Hmm.
That man was talking our language. Not a single other person in that world talks like him. Okay? I would have bought it if, like, their group talked like that and that they're just from this region, whatever. Fine. But not a single other person in this world does. And then for an instant, there was a part where I was like, oh, okay, so like one of the other characters mentions that, oh, people talk just like you, and I'm like, oh, okay, so he's heard this dialect before. That's what he talked. No, he was talking about being big and bombastic.
Yeah.
That's what he was referring to. Not even remotely what his vernacular was. And yeah, that pissed me off, which is why it's as low as it is. But I got over it because ultimately the show is phenomenal.
Mm.
Um, the art style is really interesting, and I think just like the weapon system and how it works is really well done. Um, and we just finished the season one.
Yes.
Big mystery to end it on. I'm like, okay, cool. This is I'm here for season two. Let's go.
Oh no, for sure. I would say like it's very interesting because you're never. I would say at least like for me, it's very interesting that you were very uh hung up on that technicality. But I guess like just because of like how that character is like just very in your face. Like it's just very like how jarring that is. So I can see
Yeah.
like I said, like it's like that's very technical for you, but I can see like why that's a big issue. But
Well, I think the
yeah.
thing is, it's like no one talks like that. Even
Mhm.
Gen Z doesn't talk like that, right? The people who talk like that are literal shorts, right?
Yeah.
The shorts who are just going through and just memeing about, oh, 6'7", 6'7", right? That people don't
Sorry.
talk like that. They'll
Yeah.
bring it up every once in a while. That it's part of their like what they like.
It's
Is
not
it
all they
vernacular?
talk. It's just a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
snippet.
but
Yeah.
that's all he was basically. Like he was just he was like just a
Just a
talking
walking
meme
Gen
machine.
Z meme.
Yeah, basically. But ultimately the character was much more interesting than the way that he talked, and so I kind of just got over it. Like it's still a setting. I'm like,
Hmm.
this is gonna age poorly, but I'll go back and watch the sub at that point, because then I don't understand it. I can just read the thing, and it's not as bad.
Look at Alonso. Thinking about old man Alonso trying to compensate. All right. So, Jay, why was Gachiakta number 6 on your list?
Yeah, so last year I was thinking about like how I rank things, and I put Don
Mhm.
to Don at number 6 for last year, and I was like, oh, okay, because I feel like I have this like barrier of like my top 5, and like
Mhm.
Gachi Hakuda kind of filled in the same spot as Dan to Dan for me about how much I enjoyed it. And I think the thing that really caught me about Gachi Hakuda was Kei. Oh, how do you pronounce her family name? Yorano? Kei
Yeah.
Yorano.
Mhm.
And just the design of her characters is like it's not exactly one for like Soul Eater and Fire Force, but it is so distinct in the way that I don't think a lot of mangakas, in the we talk about like the big three and like how they like interchange and new generational, but like her feel for her character design is so unique that I love everything that's going on in the world, especially she's bringing attention to like certain black characters
Mhm.
with oh, how do you pronounce her name? Sime or
Oh, the
uh
talking about the one with the glasses.
oh yeah, the secretary
Mhm.
or the guard dog of the plumbers or the
Yeah, I was gonna
cleaners.
say I don't think she's just a secretary.
No, no,
She is
no.
like like their guard dog, right?
Yep.
Mhm. And then even the head leader, the boss man, it's like I love everyone's character design, like from like yeah, design standpoint, and then even the musicality. I think like I have in my playlist "Welcome to Canvas Town" because it feels very like Brazilian or like
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. You're right about that. Yeah. It does.
yeah, I think Hispanic is too broad, but yeah, it's like I don't even know what genre to put in, but yeah, like the musicality of it just feels like there's like a lot of love that was put into it, and even
Mhm.
the statements that she made like outside of the series about how the play is being or should be run or cast. I'm like,
Mhm.
there's a lot of soul that goes into creating and making sure that her work is represented in the way that she meant it to be represented. And then even Rudo's story of like being basically thrown out of heaven essentially is really compelling. And then his growth in the series is like so endearing. It's like the only thing that really like not frustrated me, but it was like, I think you should join the bad guys. Because dude, is it Zodlo or Zordo?
Zoidal.
Zoidal, yeah,
Zoidal, yeah,
Yeah.
Zoidal, yeah, Zoidal, yeah, Doctor Zoidal. But yeah, I was like, yeah, like he does bring up a really good point of um, like making use of the group that you're in. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm totally on this guy's side. Whenever maybe they team up or there's a really big bad, it's like, yeah, even the Raiders are like, yeah, they feel like very like stepping towards something bigger. And if Kei Urano writes like Soul Eaters mangaka, I forgot his name as well, but it's like, okay, this story is going to get crazy. So I guess I did kind of consider like outside forces to put it at 6, but yeah, it's a great fun time.
Oh, for sure. I do agree with everything you said. It's like the style, and I know it. I definitely was influenced by like the outside forces too, with seeing like how well Soul Eater and Fire Force was done, and seeing that influence, and her um being vocal about like how her work is being done. As you mentioned, like it shows like just like how intentional she is about her work. It's it's just so good, as you said, like musicality, the art style, and the direction. And Zoidal is he's an odd duck in the sense that what he does is interesting for an antagonist, like how he first introduces himself to Rudo and the gang. However, it's just like making and everything he does is like, oh, it's all part of the experiment. It's all part of the main plan, and it's just like makes me sit and think about it. Like, is it really though? It's like it. I probably need to go back and watch it. Like, it feels like it's just plot points, even though like he may be an Eisen type character where he has like plans and plans and plans, but it's like right now it feels like it is like what he did was just for the sake of plot. Um, However, as you said before, it's like with the world that they're in and the different power sets, as well as certain things that's separating heaven from the ground, quote unquote. It's going to be very, very interesting to see where they go and how they address those things. But no, like we all enjoyed Gotchakta, and I can't wait to see where this is going to be on the list. But we are on to our number 3. And I'll go ahead and I'll start off with our number 3. And my number 3 is To Be Hero X. Now, we will go with Alonso, as he had mentioned To Be Hero X first, and it was his number 10.
Okay. So I may have been influenced by someone who spoke very poorly of this show to the point where I
What?
thought it wasn't even going to be on his list. Um, but
What?
I was like trying to. I was like, but you know what? He makes a good point. This is very like how to put this. If we hadn't watched this week to week, this would have been very confusing to keep track of. There were so many times where like we were confused as to what the current timeline was. We were literally arguing with each other, like, no, it's this. Had to go back to an episode and be like, see, this is what happened here. And then we're like, oh, wait, we're not being shown the full thing every time. Crap. We're not watching everything as it fully unfolds. It comes down later, right? You get the full reveal later, and it's like, okay, that's kind of annoying. However, I think the idea of like the path system's fantastic. I think the use of the different art styles was great, especially like when it switched between art styles depending on what the situation was for the character. And then X, as himself, just the power, just oozes creativity. Just oozes creativity. And the thing that made me actually put it on my list, because I was like kind of like, okay, there's actually a lot more that I don't like about this show, about like the structure and everything, was that I was just jumping through my Spotify, and Lucky Cyan came on, and I started crying. I was like, why? Why did this move me? Apparently, it moved me more than I realized. So
Mhm.
I was like, you know what? I'll put it in my top 10, and that's why it's here.
Okay, that's fair. Like, did you ever figure out why Cyan's song moved you?
No idea. It just
Mm.
hit, I guess. I don't know.
Sounds like you have some homework to do. Jay,
Probably.
why was To Be Hero X number 5 for you? I mean, why is it even on your list at all?
Sorry, I guess I gave the wrong impression that I
Yeah,
didn't like the
Mr. Afro,
series.
like, fuck this show. How and
Pretty
like this,
much.
I feel like wasted all my time on this show. That is what you told us. That is what you say.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, but I guess I came around to it because I rewatched it to prepare for. Yeah, so like my big problem with it, and Alonso did bring up some points that I
Yeah.
do agree with, but I think the big problem was like I put the wrong emphasis on something that didn't had no consequence to the story. So like the reason I was sticking to the series so strongly because I want to find out, okay, just slight spoiler, be- kind of a spoiler because it actually doesn't matter, but why is Moon murdered? And when you
Oh,
find out
yeah.
why, which is not really even a why, they kind of gloss over it in like a news article snippet kind of section on the last episode. It's like, oh, I don't know if it's a false flag. I don't know if that's the right use of the word,
Can't
but
hear me.
if you if I had not made a assumption about what the story was considering important, then I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more.
Mhm.
And I think like my bias towards that was making me say, "Oh, this is garbage. This is a waste of time." But yeah, like the visual like excellence that goes into every episode is so high, like such a new standard because like this is coming from Billy, which is like the Chinese animation studio, and like back when they oh man, I guess it was 5 years ago when they came out with Link Click and like
Yes.
Fog of the Five Hills, or when they started actually putting out like really high bar standards of animation. But yeah, it's like I love everyone's stories. When they broke it up into like little like character studies arcs, like every arc kind of like, and then you come back to the end of it, it's like, oh yeah, we're going to do this big battle royale now. And I think Sam, you mentioned like it was supposed to be 48 episodes, but yeah,
Mhm.
there is a lot you have to do to make it work. Like binging it is very like preferable to the week to week basis. But the character writing's good, the design is good, um, the animation is outstanding. But yeah, I think it was just my own perception of like what should be important and why I was hooked. It was like, man, you just pulled the rug from under me. And it's like, okay, sure. So let me rewatch it without that expectation. It's like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, I enjoyed this a lot. So
I would say like it's definitely a good definitely like the points that you brought up because especially like with Moon because it's like she's a really good character and it's like okay how are you going to build her up like just to like fridge her and not do anything with it and at least like for me like with the way that the series ended because what you had mentioned before is like uh it's sort of like a case study on like each like particular character for like a certain amount of episodes and we stopped with one character at the Moon's assassination. I'm sorry, I guess like murder, and we don't see that character again until the final tournament roster is revealed, and then we see another character make another appearance that we thought shouldn't be making one. And so, like in my mind, it makes me think that okay, this may be something that we may revisit, and it's giving me the hope that Moon's murder will be resolved in the next season. Um, and I would say too a little bit to like what Alonso had mentioned this a little bit as well, where and you did too, Jay. Where's like I feel like the way that the story does in world building, it sort of similar to like what One Piece does, but on a much more accelerated rate. Whereas like One Piece is like it's slowly builds the world and you just see how expansive it is. Whereas in Hero X, you see how connected everybody's story is. But it's like as soon as like we start getting into a rhythm with one character, we start going to another character because they were related somehow, and we essentially have to like reset. Just like, okay, why are we seeing this character? Why do we care? And then by the time we care, they throw us onto another character. And I think like essentially this season was essentially just to build up for whatever season 2 is going to bring with the new tournament that's going to happen. And I really liked the character studies that was happening too. I would say the only thing that I might have felt some sort of way about was like how they portrayed X, because X was different from all the other characters, whereas we got to see a little bit of their origin and how they got to where they were. Whereas with X, we essentially saw him at the end of his journey almost, which is cool. But it's like, again, with like what they've done with the previous case studies up to that point, it's like, okay, you have this expectation and then they sort of don't do what they had set out for themselves in that regard. But aside from that, it was still a very fun time. And even though it was even though it made us bring out the murder boards and try to figure it out, it was a very fun time in that regard, where it's just like um like trying to solve like this mystery is like, okay, who's connected to who's trying to do a power play on what, and as well as the power systems that's going on there with fear and with trust, and even with X giving us a possible another possibility that's there. And to what Jay was saying, like it's very, very orchestrated in what Billy is trying to do with To Be Hero X, and I think they did a wonderful job, and that's why it's number 3 for me. Um, now, Jay, what is your number 3?
All right, this is a double bench, I imagine, but my number 3 is the summer Hikaru died.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
a
it's
bench for
unfortunately
me.
a bit for me.
Yeah,
I
of
didn't get
course.
around to finishing it, unfortunately.
Same.
Yeah, that's fair. I made a false comparison, I think, when we were talking about after the fact, Sam, is that I called it like a Gravity Falls kind of or where it goes, but
Yeah.
like we were rewatching again in the English dub. I was like, no, that's not correct. So the thing about Hikaru is that it is this very psychologically charged horror story, and I think that's something that really doesn't work with a lot of animations. Like we saw like Dark Gathering and Miracle Chan, I think like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, like horror is like one of those categories that doesn't really work in animation for whatever reason, or it
Hard to
should
do.
work, but it should, yeah, it's very hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think a lot of studios kind of are, I don't know if scared is the right word, but I think the great thing about Hikaru and why it is such a horror is because there is this unsettledness of the idea that someone that you love, this person that you care most about, might be replaced by an exact copy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like what
And
was it,
I
buddies?
think it's
Yeah.
very odd, yeah, especially to people that have lost someone, that the terror of, oh, that person is dead, but now they're back in your life, essentially, and you're the only one that knows they died and has come back, and what's replaced them is something else. It's like that is something very sympathetic, I think, in a horror story like this. It's very much, I think, why some people probably don't follow through with Hikaru, and maybe you guys can tell me why, but I think there was maybe a expectation that it was supposed to be like Stranger Things kind of horror, rather than being the Babadook kind of horror or It Follows kind of horror. It's like this
Yeah.
very slow pace, very character focused horror story, rather than like a big, scary, anonymous eldritch story. I mean, it does get a little eldritch in the later chapters, but it's very much this guy, his best friend, and like the people around, and like the terror of, or the dread in, like oh, I don't know if um, that this thing can kill me. How much do I really, what is the space that I can operate and live my life with this thing attached to me? And how much does it say about me is that I'm allowing this to happen?
Mhm.
Because when you kind of grieve over someone's loss, and then the idea that, oh yeah, I can have that back, and the only knowledge that they aren't who they are is because I know this one piece of information. And knowing that I've lost someone, or even if you haven't lost someone, just the idea of like losing your most significant person in your life, and like, wouldn't you want that person back in your life even though that they're not? Sorry, I'm trying to
No,
think
yeah, yeah,
about it.
no,
It's like
no,
No,
no, no, yeah.
hard to.
which is like such an interesting thing to ask now, right? In the times that we live in, the far off future of 2026, where
Mhm.
like people are doing exactly that, right? People
They,
Mhm.
are.
I want to say, Jay, you mentioned it like there was a like when we were watching it, like they made a Black Mirror episode about this. So to
Oh
Alonso's
no,
point,
not
is
not
that
even that.
yeah,
Well, I'm not even talking about like a Black Mirror episode. I'm talking about in our lifetime.
hmm
Right now, people have made AI copies of their dead loved ones, right? Because they want
Yes.
that feeling back, right?
Mhm.
They want to be able to communicate with them, even though they know it's not actually them. It fills a hole in them that like is missing, right? That comes from having lost someone. And it's the idea of like, is this okay? Right? Like it brings that question to light. It's like, is this an okay thing to do? Is this quote unquote digging up the
Oh,
dead? Or is this like
oh my goodness.
should it be something that because humans do like die, it's something that we need to just face instead of try to circumvent, right? Like the
So
thing that
yeah, I'm sorry.
sorry, go for it.
No, no, I was gonna say is like what you reminded me of was just like again like Alonso, what we were saying is just like how like it's like if this is okay, and then it's going to lead to the doors like just like how far is too far. Like it made me think along the lines. It's just like okay, uh, say like people want to grieve somebody that's passed on. That's understandable. But then say for instance you want to grieve a relationship that's ended but the person's still around. It made me think about um in Gantz in the manga
Mhm.
where Jay, are you familiar with Gantz?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you know how essentially the people they were printed out like 3D printers, right? With like a
Yes,
little
yeah.
laser. So
Mhm.
in have you read the manga, either of you, or no?
I've only ever watched
No.
the show.
Okay. So
Yeah.
there's a point in the manga where I forgot what the main character's name is, but stuff happens. He ends up dating a girl that they go on missions with. He breaks it off, and um, you know how you get so many points, and essentially like they find out that they're a part of a game, and you get so many points, you can ask the orb to give you something. Um, in return. And the main character broke up with the girl, and essentially the girl asks the orb to make a carbon copy character of the main character, even though like he hasn't died or anything else like that. And so, just leading in that same vein, right? Where it's just like how far is too far with wanting to replace that hole in your heart that you have, right? When somebody who's passed on, it's one thing, but I can see whereas like people would essentially let their feelings get to a point to where like they may want to have a copy of an actual person that's still walking around. It's
Mhm.
like and just like thinking about the ethics in that regard.
Yeah, and so like the thing that
hmm
interested me about Hikaru was the idea that like while like within the world of like the show, right? Hikaru has been replaced by this entity, and Hikaru has died. That
hmm
those are facts within the show, right?
Yeah.
But to look at it from like a perspective of like the only person who knows is his best friend, right? So like kind of like compare it to well, how is that significantly different than someone who quote unquote has died to you, but no one else. As
hmm
in, they've changed, but it seems as though you're the only person who can tell that they've changed because you're the only person who knew them so well, right? to you, that person is dead, and this new person is dangerous because they're so different from the person that you knew. But no one else seems to catch on. No one else seems to be able to tell the difference, right? Like, to me, it was interesting to like look at it from that lens, while also understanding like this is like not. It's not a like oh, this is just in his head thing. This is a thing that's actually happening, but kind of seeing the parallels between the two, right? Which is why I wanted to keep watching. It's just again, long to watch list.
Yeah, for sure. And just because it's so high on my list, I would say like the other part of this is the cinematography of the show.
Mhm.
It's also something I've like really only studied when it comes to older Japanese films, but they're called pillow scenes. It's basically looking at landscapes and kind of giving you this unsettledness of like the countryside and
Yeah.
how creepy it is to live in the countryside. Because like if you've ever been in like backwoods of Alabama or
Mhm.
anywhere in the south in the US, you know how scary like like dark and like the sounds of natures can be. And then like in the show it really much contrasts that to like, oh, I'm walking beside a monster essentially. And then even to escalate that from there, they give you the perspective of, the thing that's taking over Hikaru's body is like, oh, I'm experiencing these human emotions, but I'm also this eldritch horror that I'm trying to figure out. So even like from a standpoint of like coming to age story, it's both Yoshiki, who's the dark haired boy, and then Hikaru, who's the white haired boy. Is like, yeah, they're growing into the situation kind of in the same way, even though the story starts off with this threat of like, oh, keep my identity or I'll kill you. And then later episodes, you kind of see that from the monster's perspective, and I'm like, oh, dude,
Mm.
this is crazy. Oh, and just to correct when I was saying about the Gravity Falls thing,
Yeah.
to you, Sam, there and why I can't say you should check this out is because all the stuff they talk about with the company and like this organization that hunts gods and monsters and spirits, it is so minimum to the story. It's like it's
Ah.
gonna piss you off.
No. Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Because
no,
they
I'm glad you
introduce it
told
like
me. Yeah.
so very casually. Like they talk about the main dude that they send into the town and how he's an investigator and all his abilities and why he has his hamster and like the cursed items that he carries and the consequences to using these. But it's so minimum is going to piss you off
Dude,
because like it's not
yeah.
about that. It's not about that. So it's just like,
Oh
and the
no.
Gravity Fall
Yeah.
part was like oh okay, well these five villages like they're weird and why they explain
Weirdness.
why they attract all these gods and spirits and all these things and why it's like going on for history and history and like the cult of the cult in each of the villages and like religion and mythology and it's like all the stuff that gets tangled up into each other. It's just like you're going to be unsatisfied with how season 1 ends.
Damn it. Because
Right, yeah, but it's good, it's good.
I appreciate your candorness and like as you mentioned earlier, like horror is hard to do in anime, and I would say like those pillow scenes that they did, it did elicit a sense of creepiness, right? Where it's just like giving you that unsettling feeling. Like they did really do that right, and even the scenes with Hikaru and the main character, or even like when the main character is like off on his own and he's literally his body is like physically having to struggle with the double-mindedness about the situation that he has. Like those were done very well, and it for me, like I would have preferred like a little bit more of like the investigation, or at least like how important like those towns are. But as you said, like that's not the main focus of the story, and that's not where it ends up going. So I do appreciate that. And Alonzo, when you get to finish it, maybe you can try to sell me on trying to finish it. Um, because like right now, Jay is like, I know you want to finish it, but don't, because I know you. So I'm trying to heed his warning right now.
I
Um,
got you.
but really do appreciate you giving us your thoughts on Hikaru, Jay. Now, Alonzo, what is your number three?
My number 3
Mhm.
is My Dress Up Darling, season 2. Season 2.
Ooh, okay.
Bench.
Bench for me
yeah,
too.
I know.
Girl, you need to get your act together.
What do you mean? Look, they went even further into the whole cosplay thing, bringing in the fact that adults also cosplay. It's not just for the youngins, so to speak. But they also then developed Gojo's character and his interests. They expanded more than just to making the costume. They expanded more than just I'm doing the Hina dolls. He got into prop making, found someone to mentor him in doing that. Right, like they are both growing in their respective aspects. Um, and Marin is now taking pictures because it's an added aspect to the whole thing, right? So like they're both growing independently and are both growing to get like independently in terms of like they both have their own individual goals for what they want to do now while still supporting each other, right? And beautifully watching them just slowly just like their relationship develop, right? Whatever however you want to take that to mean, right? It's correct, right? Um, because like this is like, and I know that Jay hates it, but it is a slow burn of a love story, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. I don't need the main characters. Like it's different than any other one because it's not a will they won't they. You know they will because of the trajectory that their relationship takes. It's just of a matter of when, right? Versus like all other will they won't they is like, oh, they're just pussyfooting around. This is an actual relationship like developing versus just you know flipping back and forth because oh no, I'm too embarrassed. Da 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 da. Da. How can like and both characters being that way or something, right? This is much more just like oh no, like we have a deep care for each other, but like neither one fully understands their own feelings, right? Um, and I don't know, it's great. Yeah, they're
So
good characters.
Jay, you said that Alonso should get his act together. Why did you say that?
No, Mira should get her act together. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
that.
No.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, she's happy with the photo, which is fine. But I mean, the step of the animation, I think that's kind of like the highlight of the season as well. Because like, whoa, the dramatic change from season 1 to season 2 for
Mhm.
the animation. They're like, they put the whole yen foot into this season.
Mhm. Which is
um,
crazy because season one was like still really good animation.
yes,
They just
Cloverworks, yeah. So
yeah, and
crazy.
then they also, and I didn't mention this, but like they also then animated anime within the show
Oh
in
yes.
different art
Yes, they
styles.
did.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. There is something that I really, I kind of feel like muddled about this point, but I love that they expand the cast to, Mirren's friends and the guys
Mhm.
in the class. It's like, oh yeah, like you would, you would talk about
Yeah,
that class setting, but like how close she is with her girlfriends, and then the guys come in. It's like, oh, Gojo actually has guy friends now, which
yeah,
kind of is a trope inside the romance rom com kind of genre for anime. Is like, oh, the girl shows interest in this guy, now he's popular enough to have other friends, or she opens him up to like being sociable to other people. It's like, but it kind of feels like, oh, because this girl validated his existence, now he's allowed to have friends. But it's just like that perception of that can be like warped, and you can see it from
yeah.
multiple perspectives. But I really enjoyed this season,
Mhm.
specifically for they bring back the previous season characters in like a group cosplay. So
Yeah,
not only is he like Mirren finally saved up enough money to get the camera that she wanted, she talked about last season. The previous groups come back and do a group cosplay. Gojo gets into prop making and like again like that Hina doll kind of core skill set he like expands upon. And then there was something else specifically. Oh, the the comedy with
yeah,
the
from
monster and the yeah. It's like, oh, this is great. This hey, and it's funny because I've seen that animated by someone online like 2 years ago, and I was waiting so long for this because I was like, yeah, sex scene. But it's just really funny that it didn't go that direction because I was really because like the animation was like a sex scene. I'm like, really? Are they going to drop a sex scene inside of season 2 of My Dress Up Darling when they had the love hotel scene? I'm like, I guess.
Mhm.
But I was like, oh. But yeah, good season. And for it to be your number 3, I think that's good. At least from it seems consistent with your list. So I'm glad we can talk about this again.
Oh, no, for sure. I am glad, and I agree with everybody with what you said. Like all the points, like the different animations, the character developments. I really liked. Just to touch back on Gojo's friend group, just like expanding. It was with what Alonso had mentioned is like this season. It felt very natural in the development of relationships, and it seemed as though, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like it seemed as though like everybody was fairly well. I guess it was just like because of like how Mirren was like she surrounded herself with people who liked to cosplay or she surrounded herself with like-minded people, and like with Gojo because of like his trauma, he wasn't he like the fact that like he was able to um he was placed in a good environment where he can flourish just because I forgot her name again. Miran, the love interest surrounded
Mara.
herself with good people that she can be herself around, and so by proxy he could do the same. And it was very good or very interesting, showing that it's like how their relationships could be natural just because like they liked each. It's sort of like, oh, my friends are going to be friends because I'm friends with both of them, like that sort of thing.
Mhm.
um Very, very well done. Now, on to numero dos, our number 2 in our top 10 list. And Jay, oh no, we went with number 3 with you first. So it would be Alonso. Alonso, who is your, what's in your number 2 slot?
Okay. I guess it's time to finally talk about this. So my only other non-sequel show,
Hmm.
it's Fragrant Flowers. Blooms with
Ooh.
Hey,
um kind of like piggybacking off of the My Dress Up Darling thing, right?
I know you're number
This
1 now.
do you? Probably. Anyway,
Yeah.
but like piggybacking off of that, like the whole like seeing the relationship like blossom like naturally and not being super rushed,
Hmm.
um, and like the slow burn being great. Yes, I do value that. That's great. Works for that show because there's other aspects to it. We are seeing their hobbies, etc., and that's what they're developing with, right? This show is much more like we are very quick about it because we're not too worried about what their hobbies are. We're just worried about who they are and how they intermingle as people. And so it's just wholesome, man. Like it's the delinquent who thinks no one wants to be around him, thinking why would this person even like talk to me? Oh, I hope I didn't offend them. Like, but he's actually like a good guy because he just looks like a delinquent because he's tall, you know. And then the girl who like likes him because he was what why was it again? Like he did something kind for her before he realized who she was, like before they
Hmm.
even like officially met. Um and she thought, "Oh, this person's kind. I want to get to know him more." And it wasn't that she was fell in love immediately because of it. It was literally the I want to know you more. And like and through that was like, "Oh, I did get to know you more. And you are a good person. I do like you." Like it's just really well done. Added on that the ensemble cast is some of the best friends I've seen in any show. And I don't mean in like, oh, we're there for you, bro. It's the like we're worried about you, like arguing with each other. We're here for you if you want to talk. Friend doesn't want to talk. Give him time. He'll come around. He'll eventually talk to us. Like he knows we're here, right? And reassuring each other and being there for each other. Like it's just such a great like representation of like what having good friends is like, right? I don't think we show enough of that in anime, um, aside from like the very heroic moments,
Hmm.
right? which they did have in this show too, but they focus more on the like interpersonal things than the heroic moment thing. Jay.
Oh, me time? Okay, good. So it's really hard. I think I gave it. So I put it on my number 7, and I think it's hard to follow up Skip and Loafer.
That's fair. That's
Because we
fair.
watched Skip and
Yeah.
Loafer, so maybe that impacted my decision. But I did want to see more from Walkery because you get a sense of like some things about her, but it was definitely the Rentaro show
Mhm.
to get you on his to get his perspective. Of course, he's the MC, but I think I was missing like getting enough from her perspective. Sometimes I think we get more from the secondary girl
The friend.
name. Yeah, the friend. A little bit more in depth because like we revisit her like prejudice and like the abuse that she suffered and like her closing herself off, and we kind of get that resolved more than we even see from Walgreens. So even like we get more from like not a side character, but like a member of the main cast more than the
Yeah.
main couple. But yeah, like the boys are boying because there is a moment, I think it's around episode 3. It's like it's the fight when he fights off the delinquents that trying to start a fight with Rentaro.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was like that moment was so cool because you don't think the quiet the quiet character is going to like pull out. He's the
The
closed eye.
martial arts.
He's the
Yeah.
closed eye character, and he opens his eyes for the first time. It's like, oh no,
Oh, we messed up.
yeah, we messed up. Okay, and it was like if you assume it was just him fighting, it was like 5-on-1. It was like, oh no, he's dangerous. But then that's the only time it ever comes up again. It's not
Yeah.
like a delinquent love story in the way of like, oh yeah, we're gonna be fighting. It's not Windbreaker.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's so like endearing of like this, and you get so much um heartfelt moments with Rentaro kind of like figuring out the vibe of, oh yeah, I have been this outcast. Oh, I guess it is very much like Windbreaker, but this like I've been an outcast for so long and I've normalized shutting off myself from people, and even though I have these really loyal friends, I've never really spoken honestly. Like there are like moments it's like, and you said this, Alonso, it's like, yeah, these are like decent people and they're acting in like decent ways of like, oh yeah, we love you, we know what you're going through, and we accept you for who you are, and like this, and it's like played to be like not a big deal. It's like the
Mhm.
default setting for people to act kind to each other essentially.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that's amazing. To be so, it feels like a very mature not rom-com, but a romance anime.
Yeah.
Anything else like why I put it so low on my list? I think it was just the Wagari, like not getting a lot from her side about it. But
Yeah.
I'm up for season 2
Mhm.
whenever that comes out. Yeah, because I think it was like Dangers, Skip to Loafer, and then this was I think our order of progression for like romances.
Yeah.
So I mean, we kind of took a stop at Honey Lemon Soda, but we don't
Ugh.
talk about that.
We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about that here. And I remember like after we watched it, because it's also on with Fragrant Flowers being on Netflix, like I was
Mhm.
trying to suggest other people to watch it too, to at least like try to boost the numbers up a little bit. But
Mhm.
we'll see what happens, because it was, as you guys said, it was very very wholesome, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes forward. Now,
Mhm.
Jay, what is your number 2, sir?
Okay, this is where we're getting into like I said, like I don't think any of you will have my top 3, but
Mhm.
Mhm.
I actually, well, since Alonso has another sequel as his first, I wonder if this is my
Yeah.
second, but my second spot is My Hero Academia final season.
Oh,
Bench.
that's a
Sorry.
good one, but that's a bench for me too.
Oh,
I'm
no.
surprised. Wait, hold on. Okay, I haven't kept up with my hero. Okay,
Hmm.
um, so that's why it's not on mine. I would have thought personally. Granted, I don't know. Maybe you haven't been keeping up with it. That it would have been on your list because you had vigilantes on there.
Well, like and honestly, I was gonna say is like I've tried to keep my list from like sequel seasons, and like
Gotcha.
that's why I didn't really think about it. But it's a really good season. Jay, why?
Mhm.
Why?
I cried at the end of it.
No.
One, but I think it's just the. I think this is like the first anime that I've actually like. Being how old I am, I think this is like the
Mhm,
first anime like I watched the anime, read the manga, and now I'm watching the anime finish.
mhm.
So like even for all the anime that I love, I don't think I've ever done it in that order before. Like I've gotten obsessed with it. I have the
Yeah.
ultimate art book, which Horikoshi is such an asshole for releasing like some of the best art he's ever drawn post the ultimate art book.
I know I've
So now
heard
I
like
go
people
back
are
and
like, "Yo, you need to come back and do a sequel series for My Hero now because of all the art he's been dropping."
Mhm.
yeah, it's really beautiful, like his most recent stuff. Because like there's this piece with young All Might and his mom, and I'm like, oh no, it's so
Oh.
beautiful. But yeah, just to talk about like this whole decade of my hero fandom and like what is done for the community, it's just like I just felt like I had to put it on the list
Mhm.
because how they wrap up the story from the OP, the opening to this final season, and the ED, and like kind of like taking you through the whole journey and like where Deku has gone as a character is like I remember how many people were just shitting on Deku as a main character for so many years, and
Yeah.
like the place that he finishes as a character, same thing with Bakugo, who's like the emotional core of the show, feels so satisfying in a way that can't really be expressed except for being along for the ride for a decade. And it's amazing to have animators come out for this final season because, man, I'm such bad with animators' names, but it was one of the animators that worked on the Gear 5 scene in
Oh.
One Piece came out to do the fight with One for All and Shigaraki
Yeah.
against Bakugo and Midoriya. But anyways, also the same animator that worked on My Hero also came for the final scenes in Gachiakata. But anyways,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's just like this decade-long anime that I don't feel any attachment to the other shonens that I grew up on. I don't feel it for Dragon Ball. I don't feel it for Bleach. I don't feel it for Naruto. I don't feel it for any of the shonens when I was supposed to be a shonen. But I guess it just comes with media literacy is like, wow, this is just really great. And I'm glad that, it makes me happy that anime is still existing and that there's still stories to talk about in the medium like this, in this way, especially like the superhero medium and like the
Mhm.
mythology of it. And I'm like, man, this just makes me glad to be an anime fan, and especially when you look at like, oh, whenever they do, maybe they might do another movie and like do like when all the like heroes are grown up in their adult lives. It's like, oh yeah, I'll be front row to that. But yeah, my the final season and why this made my list versus the other ones like sequel series is because like we haven't been doing the podcast long enough for
My Hero to
me to
make
have a
it.
season that I
Yeah.
would recommend. But
Mhm.
now that it's all finished and all over, I'm like, yeah, My Hero, man. There's only one anime better than this, and well, actually, there's two animes that's better than this. And if it's on either one of your lists, I'm going to be like, oh no, they had both of them. Um, but yeah, there's just so much high points of like even talked about it with our episode with Eric where Bakugo's spoiler alert real quick, but his death scene and like how well that plays out, and then coming back to this final season and how his story actually wraps up is like so beautiful, and I'm like, it works way better in the dub than it works in the sub, and I'm like, oh, I actually feel what I felt when I was reading it on the page. It's
Mhm.
like the voice acting, it's great, animation, great, just the visuals from start to finish are great. Only 10 episodes, 10 or 11 episodes this season, so um, yeah, my number two.
No, and I would say too, like with My Hero, at least like for me, it ran into that issue where I think I mentioned this to you guys before, where if I read it and I know what's going to happen, it's hard for me to like get back into it and watch it animated. And it was like, oh, like the last moments with like Deku and One for All, and I go back in and I watch it, and just going back to what you had mentioned is like that full circle moment. It's just it hits you with all the feels, and you really feel. Sorry, it's unnecessarily redundant there, but you get to see the progress that was made all the way up to that point and how Deku affected everybody and how that's essentially being reversed and flipped back onto him in that moment. It's just so powerful, and I can see why the last season can be very, very moving. It's just very well done, and I to what Jay said, like I do suggest it as well. So Alonso, this is on your to watch list as well.
I'm like 4 seasons behind. Hey, I'll get there eventually. Won't be anytime soon.
So long as it's on the list, it needs to be on there. It needs to be on there.
I
But
gotcha.
it's because it's definitely a I want to say, like,
Right.
would it be too much to say it's a historical moment, Jay? Because I mean, like,
I,
it did have an impact, but I don't know if that's too much or
so like,
too little. Yeah.
let me ask you this,
Yeah.
right? Because having not seen it, I can't really speak to it.
Hmm.
But would you say that this has affected the way that anime happens? I guess.
Oh, interesting.
Because like
I
for
think
me,
it
that's what
definitely,
define it as historical or not, right?
yeah, for sure. Because like I was thinking about that in terms of like the Demon Slayer
Hmm.
comparisons. Like, what is more mainstream, especially with Moon Train and Infinity Castle, like kind of making it. But like for how much box office the My Hero movies make, I think it makes it a staple of the community, especially as when you're speaking about like retro retrospectively retro
Hmm.
in
Yeah,
retrospect.
in retrospect.
Um, yeah, it's just like it's hard to, I think it's too close to the ending to really judge that, but I think especially with um maybe how it's really hard to say because it's hard to say like mm,
It's I would say
man, that's
it's
a rough
probably
question.
impactful for this generation because now I think about it, as you said, like just think about box office. Even though Demon Slayer did very well, I feel like uh My Hero probably had a better impact just because a bigger impact just because of or at least like on the generation just because of the longevity of it. I can
Mhm.
see My Hero being equivalent to the modern or the current generation's version of Naruto, right? Because even though we have other series like Black Clover, which it's essentially like Naruto, but like you hear I don't know if they're more vocal or if they're just but in my head like it's just like the My Hero fans are just there in numbers and in droves.
Mhm.
So it's definitely
Ye-
resonating with the generation more than its contemporaries.
Yeah, I would say like of like if we were talking about like how the big three should be like looked at like generationally,
Hmm.
this does feel like to be the one that stands out because like post Sword Art Online, which was 2012, or
Mhm.
Attack on Titan, is like this
Hmm.
does feel like to be the anime of the previous generation, or because now we have like the dark isekai, the dark trilogy with JJK and Hell's Paradise. But yeah, um, I hope that
So
answers the question.
I was actually really curious about this because you said that like you feel as though like the My Hero Academia like fans show up for like the movies and everything, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
and it speaks to its impact and whatnot, right? And like, let me preface
Just
this.
going back to your earlier question, right? It's like how things are being done differently. So I can, because like with My Hero,
Hmm.
I can see how this can be an impact in anime moving forward. Because with the movies, they are similar to the Dragon Ball Z movies or like the Naruto movies, where they don't necessarily tie directly to the storyline. Like they can like Naruto and Dragon Ball is like oh they're not canon. Whereas with My Hero movies, they're independent enough but can still be considered canon. Whereas like they don't do anything too wild or off the wall. I mean, maybe with the Two Heroes Rising with
Hmm.
Bakugo at the end, but even then it's like they harken back to that scene a little bit in the finale, right? So it's like okay, well, at least like not necessarily cutting that movie off entirely, but they give you enough subtlety where it's just like oh, you see him sparkling a certain sort of way. Is he or isn't he? Right? Just essentially like giving the people who like that movie just like that sort of joy. It's like, oh, he's sparkling the same way. Something must be happening. Like that sort of thing. Right? So I can see that like moving forward as far as like movies, like if they're not doing the movies like how um Chainsaw Man or how Demon Slayer are doing their movies, they're probably gonna do something along the lines of like how My Hero Academia did their movies, where it's like it's just separate enough, but still more tied to the canon storyline to where it's not a complete departure. Like say BoJack or Bio Brawly was in the Dragon Ball franchise.
Well. This is kind of my point, right? So, well, two-parter here.
Okay.
That what you're describing is literally what used to be done. My Hero basically just did movies the same way anime has been doing movies for decades, right? It is quote unquote non-canon, maybe canon somewhere. It is a side story, not necessary to the plot. Like that's how they did the movies, right? Whereas like if anything, like because like you said the whole thing about like being historical and whatever. If anything, I would say that like Mugen Train was historical because it fundamentally changed how people do
how people did
to that point of like My Hero and again their movies don't come out the same way that like the Demon Slayer movies came out, right? Last year My Hero Academia movie came out, I guess, did $23 million worldwide.
Okay.
Compared to Infinity Castle that released
broke records.
Yeah. Blew that out of the water.
779 million, right? Even Mugen Train, which is where did it go? Yeah, Mugen Train
the box office for
also 512 million, right? Like each, and this is not like to poo-poo on what you're saying or anything, but it's more of like I think it's possible that like it's like I don't think it's historical in the same way that like Demon Slayer was, not because like it's not impactful, right? It's more of a thing of like I again have not finished watching the show, right? So like please take this with a grain of salt. It doesn't seem as though My Hero Academia has the same cultural impact on the industry that like Demon Slayer did, for example. Demon Slayer did, like to call it historical. Only reason I'm bringing it up is because you posed the question, like, is it like too soon to call it historical? Right?
No, not too soon. Like I was trying to find like the right word because like what you said, it's like Demon Slayer essentially changed how the anime is doing movies, but at least like with My Hero, I can see the impact that it has on the current generation, but I don't necessarily see it being as impactful as how Demon Slayer was. So I was just trying to find the right word to describe it.
I guess like I would say that like My Hero, if anything, has an impact on those who watch it, not on the industry itself, right? Like, it not again. This is not to like meant to like take down My Hero or anything. It is that like it is not a thing that is fundamentally so impactful that it's shaped everything, but it shapes the people who watch it. If that makes sense, right? Like it has impacted those who've watched it like in a beneficial way, right?
Okay. No, that's fair. Jay, would you say that's fair or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So, we could sit here and talk about like My Hero all day, but we have a list to finish, and we would be finishing number 2 with my pick, and I know for sure this is not going to be on either of your lists, but trying to shake things up a bit, not go too crazy, but my number 2 is the Netflix series Devil May Cry 2025.
Bench.
Curious. Okay.
So I would say like it's
I forgot to count that one, but yeah, it would not. I forgot that I watched that, but
did you watch? Well, I felt like you did watch it. Yeah,
I did. Yeah, but it wouldn't have made my top 10.
I don't know. I guess maybe because this was probably the. Oh no, it's not the first because I did that anime with another guest of ours on the OG Devil May Cry series.
Mhm.
Ugh. I guess because I watched it in such proximity, like I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is the best thing ever." Um, I just really loved it, like in how they told Dante's story, and it was it was very fun. And not only that, but the protagonist, the White Rabbit, was such an interesting and compelling character, and everything that happened was through the conflict that was generated, and how it would like flash back and show like the reasons why certain characters were doing what they did. It was just very well done, and like I really liked how the characters were written too, and how they interacted with each other. It was funny because like you would have like bounty hunters um essentially like go after Dante at one point, and these were people that he used to work with, and like as they're mid fighting, it's like, oh, how's the wife? How's the kid? Oh, almost like the banter that we got with Hawkeye and Black Widow during Civil War, and it was just very fun. It made me want to go and that along with the podcast that I did made me want to go back and play the video games. My only gripe that I had about that series was the characters Agni and Ragni. They had character assassinated them in the anime because in the game I was playing Devil May Cry 3. I still need to finish it, but their personalities are so good in that game. And then I'm just playing it, and I'm playing the game after I have watched the show. And I'm like, wait a minute, they were nothing like this. These guys are so much fun. It's like, why did they do that to these two guys? It's like they're just there. It's like, why would you do this? But um aside from that, it was a fun time, and I am really excited for season two. I can't wait to see where they're going to go, and specifically with one character, like how they're going to bring him into the fold. But that's sort of my thoughts on it. Alonso, you mentioned that you had watched the new series. Did you have any
Yeah,
thoughts on it?
yeah. I
Mhm,
think I agree with like basically everything you said.
mhm,
There's just some instances of it that like bothered me. The
mhm.
biggest thing being not enough Virgil. Not enough Virgil. That's it.
Mm, yeah,
For how much they went into the backstory of like Dante, I thought that's where we're headed.
yeah.
Apparently, that's gonna be season two, and that's fine. But that's why it wasn't on my list. It's petty. I don't care. Not enough Virgil.
It's like we need more cowbell, but we need more Virgil. We need more Virgil.
Exactly.
So now we will be going on to da 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 our number ones. Now let's see, Jay. Let's start off with your number one.
All right. I mean, it should be obvious because I've talked about it plenty, but my number one is Orb on the Motions of the Earth.
Oh, okay. That was a bench for me.
That is also
And
for
say
me.
say it again, Alonso.
Red flags.
Also
Red flags.
for me. I didn't finish it.
No, it's fine. It's fair. Okay. Um, man, where can I start with this? So,
Mhm.
yeah, depending on your guys' number ones, I think there's one anime that's should get the top spot for this year, but of anime that um is like title that's holding the place in my mind of like best of the decade,
Mhm.
this comes to mind. And after rewatching it, preparing for this list, I was like, oh, I'm having this very religious experience
Mhm.
when it comes to watching this because there is this. I don't know what it is, but I think a lot of times people conflate or antagonize science and faith.
Mhm.
And I, a few people have said it, like a couple of scientists and philosophers have said it. And I think it's thinking about Albert Einstein. I believe it was the quote like, science without faith is lame, and faith without science is incomplete, something
Mhm.
like that.
Hmm.
And you have this story about the discovery of the heliocentric version of the universe, or the solar system, and you get different perspectives. The openings kind of show you who's going to be the main character, and it changes over time. I think there's four main characters in total,
Mhm.
but you see how this story is. It's very much a story about how we as the human race, how humanity are interconnected, and this idea that the past, the present, the future are all interconnected by the choices each person makes. And then the faith component to that is that you have people that will present this argument or this philosophy about their experiences, their upbringing, their values, and then you come into a conversation with these characters or conflict, but it's not out of like disrespect. It's not out of a idea of like, oh, because I'm saying this and you're saying that, we have to be enemies, or that I'm wrong and you're right. Like there's no like morality about it or ethics about it. I don't know what the right way to say that. Or judgments about it.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, this is what you believe, this is what I believe, and we don't have to be antagonistic because they conflict, but it is a recognition and respect that this is what you believe and this is what I believe. And then there's I would say what is his name? Kago Magashima from Psychopaths is like one of my favorite all-time villains. There's a villain in the show, Novak. He's a religious inquisitioner
Inquisitor.
in
Inquisitor.
Inquisitor. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and talk about a villain. Talk about aura farming. Talk about a very grounded, I'll just say quote unquote evil man. Because
Mhm.
when you get into his character, when you get to the end of the story, you kind of see how evil is just can be misguided, or how evil is perpetrated. I forgot what that famous quote is about. It's like everyone thinks they're the good guy in their story, or
Yeah.
Mhm.
um, like everyone thinks they're doing right. And I think that's the essence of the show. It's like everyone's trying their best. Everyone has beliefs. They're trying their best every single day to make it through the day. They have their own core values. They have sorry, I'm getting really emotional talking about this because it is such a grounded human story that if you really want to feel, I would say like it's like on the level of Violet Evergarden for me. It's like it's such a grounded human story about something that you rarely see in anime. I guess it's maybe in the same vein as Takupi talking about physical abuse and emotional abuse on children.
Mhm.
But with Orb, it's talking more about the power of faith and how belief can like move the planets, or how how one person can start a chain reaction that leads to greatness, and that
Yeah.
something in the past caused you to be this way. And it's like just interconnectedness and the beauty of humanity, and how does time work, and even this feel of predestination is like we were always going to move towards this, and that everything that happened for a reason. So it's just, sorry, I'm going to talk about this forever, but Orb is just that story that's
Mhm.
it's like, okay, this is number one for me.
Okay. Okay, so I'm picking it back up. Got it. Mhm. 'Cause yeah, no, like
Yeah.
it honestly like it sold me on its premise like after episode 3. Because like
Mhm.
if you ever wanted to see like a great example of like, oh yeah, the quote unquote the 3 episode test is a good measure of like how a show is gonna like reveal itself to you, right? And it did, right? Um, like the way that it solidified what it was trying to do with the end of episode 3 was fantastic. It was just really heavy for me at the time, so I just didn't continue watching it. But I think I'll pick it back up.
Cool, good man. Your red flag turned into a green flag. But yeah, oh yeah, just to talk about the 3 episodes, because I think it's 24 episodes long. But
Oh,
yeah, the three
yeah.
episodes, I would actually say like it is a good 3 episode test, but for how it ends, you're kind of like left in this space of like, oh, where is this going to go? Because
Really?
you
Okay,
really
'cause-
don't know where it's going until you see episode 4 and then getting through like the next arc of the story, because like it very much rolls out in a way of like, you have to pay attention to it in a way of like, oh, who are these people, what are their motivations,
okay.
what is their place in the story. But yeah, because it does drop you off an edge on
Well,
episode
so like,
3.
well, no, like for me, episode 3 was like a big reveal of like, this is not what you thought it was.
Right,
Here,
trust
enjoy
us.
this
Yeah,
ride. Yeah, no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
it literally said like it said have faith, right? Is
Yeah.
what it said. Um, it just like a specific character had to have faith that something was gonna happen, right?
Mhm,
Like,
mhm,
and I thought that like to me, I was like, oh, that's where this is going. This is bigger than just an individual, right? Like
mhm.
when something moves the world, it's not just one person. It is literally the universe moving to like conspiring to make this thing happen, right? And you have to have
Yes,
faith in that happening, right? It
yes,
can't just
yes.
be your wishing. It has to be like propagated by something, right?
Mhm. This guy knows. And like, if you do end up getting to the last episode, I think the last episode is, oh my god. See, I want to watch it again. I
Mhm,
want to watch it again. But yeah, the last episode brings that point home in a way of there's no OP,
mhm.
Oh,
and it
yeah,
just kind of
yeah.
sells this idea of like, oh yeah, like everyone's life is almost insignificant when you look at it by itself, but it is the collective consciousness or movement progress of humanity that really matters. It's like we're all in this together. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, Alonso, you said it perfectly. But yeah,
Man, yeah, I don't think there's anything I can really add. Because I would say that was sort of the biggest thing for me was the end of episode 3 was like that big chart change, like that reveal.
Mhm.
Um, I guess it frustrated me because it was like, what is this? And like thinking back on it, like you said, it's like more or less like having something against an idea and not necessarily like an individual. And that wasn't something that I was willing to look at, mainly because of who I was tied to. It was just like, oh, it's just gonna be like I'm having to like tie to different people. But again, with what you said, Jay, like it's more or less like how this affects people. It's not necessarily just like uh dependent on an individual, and that's what they were just trying to show in the beginning. So it definitely does merit consideration, especially because of like how thoughtful you are in what you say is like your favorite. So it definitely is something to take into consideration, for sure.
Thank you,
Um,
Sam. And now we can talk about your horse girls.
no, we were going
Oh, right.
to talk to
We do know his
Alonzo.
last name.
We were
Okay,
going to
wait.
talk to
We know your.
Alonzo about his
Wait,
number
no,
one.
Okay.
no. We know you're number
Okay.
one. I just realized. Yeah. No, we're gonna talk about your horse girls.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
or actually, wait, hold on. Because we
Yeah,
know that yours has got yeeted, so we know what yours is. So do we
mhm.
want to talk about it now, or do we want to just talk about my number one?
We'll leave it up to Jay. Horse girls or Alonzo's pick?
Yeah, that's very interesting because now I don't, since it wasn't my hero. Now to know that you're 4 seasons behind, I doubt you have One Piece on your list. I don't know if you cared that much about. I know the Tsubaki story and Breaking or Windbreaker is really good, but I would guess that the only thing remaining would be for a season. Um, it wouldn't be My Dress Up Darling, no, because you already did that. Yeah, I guess it would be Windbreaker.
For
Would be my
me,
guess. Yeah, I guess.
That's your guess. Huh?
It's a sequel?
It's a sequel, yeah.
It's a sequel series.
Yeah, Jay?
Hmm.
Or not Jay, sorry, Sam? Do you have a guess?
Mm,
I don't think he caught up on ReZero.
I have
yeah,
not.
now that you mention it, yeah, no, he hasn't.
Wait, no.
No, I caught up
No,
on Ray
I-
Zero, but I don't think
It
Alonso's
can't be
caught up on Ray Zero.
kaiju. It can't be kaiju.
Is it
No
Kaiju
way.
number 8?
No.
Kaiju number 8.
I have not seen season 2, no.
Okay.
Mhm. Then I have no idea then.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Okay. You would just go ahead and tell you?
Yeah, I'm curious.
It's Dan.
Oh.
Oh, right.
There
I
was a
didn't even write
theme to
it
my
down because
top
it was so
3.
obvious. Right,
Yeah,
I
there
wrote
was
it
a
down because it
theme
was
to my
so.
top
I did it
3.
right now because it was so obvious. Of course. Oh my god! Right.
I don't know. In
I
his
said
mind,
that
he's like,
earlier, and
"We
I was
watched
like,
it together, guys. Why don't you think about it?" Oh my
"Well, it's a
goodness.
bench for me, obviously."
That's a bench for me as well, obviously. But what
Yeah,
do you
'cause
guys
you
want
have
to talk
to do
about?
sequels if you
Kind of
want
at the
Gundam?
end of the road,
title.
so I know, just funny.
All right, so I'm
Actually,
trying to think.
technically,
I
Uma
didn't
Musume
even
is
write it.
the sequel
I didn't even
series.
write it
Hold
down
on.
on my list
Wait,
because I
hold
knew it
on.
was going to be what someone's.
Hold on.
Cinderella Grey, yeah,
No,
like it's a spin-off, so like it would be like
the sequel series.
Vigilantes.
You just
Because Cinderella Grey was it was released this year. It was in 2 cores.
no. What I'm saying is that, like,
Mhm.
so is Uma Musume not like, because like Vigilantes I do see as not as a sequel series but a spin-off,
Mhm.
right? Is Uma Musume Cinderella Grey not season 3?
No,
Oh, okay. Then
there's
I totally
it's its
misunderstood.
own
Okay,
season 3. Season 3 is
got
its own season.
I'm so stupid. I completely forgot about Don Da Don, man.
Jay
Which
was
is
That was
gonna
so
be like
obvious,
Mr.
of
Big
course.
Brain and try to guess everybody's number 1.
Number
Yeah,
one.
because I was like, I didn't write it down because I forgot I watched it with you. That's how much Kenta messed me up with the show. I'm like, I'll just forget about it.
Look, I fully get it. He was a terrible character. Does not mean I throw the whole thing away. Because I will tell you this right now. There was one scene in that entire show that I was like, this is they don't do romance right except for this moment right here. It was
Oh,
when
is
they
it the finger moment in the car?
yes, it is that.
Yes.
It is
Okay.
the small
Haha! Back
tender
on track.
moment between
Back
two
on
people
track.
between two people who are like falling in love. It's the little
Mhm.
things, right? And they
Mm.
focused on it. The non-verbal like things that you do with someone else that
Mhm.
show them that you care about them, right? Without having to tell them, right? Like it's those things, and just like I like for a while I did not like the opening, but it just kind of slowly grew on me. I didn't know why, and then I looked up the lyrics and then realized it was literally just like
A love
like
story.
A
love
love
story.
story.
Yeah, I'm like, "Ah, this is perfect. This is fantastic. Um, but yeah, also again, animation's always great. Um, great continuation of the thing. We got to see the evil eye, which to me was interesting because of what my understanding of what the evil eye is very different than this because it's I think the Japanese interpretation of what the evil eye is. We got great music. Got Hunter's Soul. Right.
Oh, the references!
Yeah.
Oh,
And then we had a kaiju battle at the end of it. Yeah, just another great love story.
Mhm.
My top 3 are literally like romance anime.
Just
I
romance,
thought it was
romance,
going to be
romance.
obvious that what my number 1 was, but
No, it was
uh,
obvious. I just literally blanked on it. I was
yeah,
like, it's nowhere on my list. I was like, why did I not put it
How
down?
dare
I
Alonso
have
have
Dragon
something
Ball
on his
Z
list that's not
Daimon
on
on my
my
list.
list?
I'm like, yeah. I have like Kamen Rider, I have Black Butler, I have
Ooh.
Yaiba, but no, Don Da Don. I'm like, why did I not write it down? But yeah, dude, the season was so good, and I'm really being unfair to Kenta as a character introduction.
you're
It's
not.
just like
No, you're
such.
not.
I just mean it in a way of like it doesn't overwhelm the story. It like
Sure, yeah,
doesn't. I mean, it doesn't. I don't. I don't think detract is the right word, but it's just like
yeah.
such a weird step
Yeah.
to make, because I think the next girl, because we haven't learned her name yet, but it's like, oh, she's going to be an alien and like going to be the sci-fi. It's just like, so we have like the cursed spirit users, now we have an alien. It's like, I don't know where Kenta's going to fall into that yet. He might get some alien tech. Yeah, I know. I mean, I just mean like, what is his thing going to be? Is he just going to be the house pilot guy?
It seemed like from the wiki, I don't know. It seemed like it's going to be a point that he doesn't have any powers at all.
Yeah, that's fine. He's a sci-fi guy. He shouldn't have powers. He should be using tech. I just hope.
But yeah, the evil eye. Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say like the evil eye stuff, and then like the little training montage episodes that he does in between, and like how that resolves itself is like really funny, and even like the yeah, I mean it's like post evil eyes, like they're dealing with Gigi like transforming and Gigi going through training. It's like, oh yeah, all that stuff is still good. It's just like the last 4 episodes are like, okay, sure. I like how they came back around to the balls, and I think that means like Okaru's story is kind of complete because now he has both of his balls back. So I'm very interested to see season 3 and like where that goes, since now they have like an alien roommate, I guess.
Yeah,
it's so funny because like now like it seems like I forgot her name, but grandma. It seems like she now has like a halfway house for like all these like weirdo children. Oh my goodness. And I can't wait to see like what type of meal that they're gonna have, because it seems like after every battle they always have like a potluck dinner over there at her at the crib. So I think like the last one was crab, right? Or did they have something before that? Something after
I think
that.
they had crab.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
It'll be interesting.
Crab people.
So that was funny to see that Dan was a big upset for Jay, but now we can go on to the thing that he was on the money on, was Uma Musume Cinderella Gray. Now, Jay, why was this number 4 on your list?
Yeah, so it's above Hero X for me, is because it kind of goes like understated that like a lot of shonen sports is all about people working together and the team coming together to find their, working as a team. Teamwork makes the dream work, and it's like finding my place within this group of outcasts or like in this club activity. And then Cinderella Gray is just like very much in the same way. It's like, well, Hajime Ippo's boxing is kind of like a team sport, kind of with the trainer. But it's the soul sports. I think there was a like sumo wrestling anime a few years ago. But yeah, the solo sports aren't really covered a lot in anime. Like there's badminton. Forgot what that anime is called, but
Ping pong.
yeah, most sports. Oh yeah, ping pong. Oh yeah, good choice. Which is like a visual treat. But yeah, same thing. Like there's a handful of animes that cover like solo sports essentially. And boy, howdy was, it's like in a way of like, even like, it's funny, like it feels like furry adjacent, because like the horse aspect to it doesn't really come up that much. It's not like even though they're horse girls, they're not like horse people. I don't know how to put that, but it's very much
It's on the muscles.
Addressing a aspect of sports. It's like everyone is a main character essentially. There's like no, you really like Oguri Cap is the main girl you follow, but like you can have favorites. Like you're rooting for everyone almost essentially. Like Oguri Cap, even though you're following her as the MC, may not even be your most favorite character, and she might not even have the most interesting performance or story, but there's just this widespread look and spotlight on everyone that just feels so refreshing. And I binged like the first 12 episodes when the first core came out. And then with the second core, well, let me go through the first core. It's like so endearing how the reason that she runs is because she had I don't know if it's a genetic disorder, but
Like,
basically her yeah, joints arthritis, maybe advanced arthritis as a
Mhm.
child, and then like she runs because
you
I don't know
can.
how you would phrase it,
Yeah,
but
because she
yeah, she
can.
runs because she can.
Yeah.
It's like I've been blessed with legs, so let me run. Essentially, it's like I spent all these years kind of like stunted and like sitting and not doing the thing that horses should be doing.
Mhm.
Uh, but just that simple motivation of like, and it's like so pure and simple and like childish, childlike. It's like, oh yeah, when that comes up in the story, it's like, oh, why are you running? Why are you competing? It's like, I mean, what else should I be doing? It's like this awareness
Yeah.
of like ambition almost.
Mhm.
And that does come up with like the president of the school is like, well, you have to be ambitious if you actually want to win. And then through the first core, she gets that ambition. It's like, oh, I found someone, I found a rival, I found a purpose to actually run faster rather than just running.
Mhm.
So sorry, I'm talking about this way too much, but it's such a joyride in like how the sport plays out, and it's not even animated to the same way as the series proper is animated, or even how the movie was animated last year, but it's just this great underdog story, if you want to call it that, but it's just like rocky. It just feels so rocky about it. It is just such a joy.
Oh yeah, no, like you're right about with it being rocky because and the thing that Uma Musume does is that the characters, and they even say this in the intro. I don't know if they say this in Cinderella Grey, but they said it all the time in the series proper. It was so annoying, but essentially all the characters, a lot of the horses. I'm sorry, racers, because Jay hates it when I call them horses. A lot of the racers are based off of actual horses. So the president, Rudolph, that was an actual horse that won the Triple Crown. Very, very rare. I don't know if there was any others that did the same thing, where basically winning the championships, the three big championships, within the first year, within 1 year. Um, so the thing with Cinderella Grey with Ogre Cap and Jay, remind me of your favorite, the lightning chick. What's her name?
Oh, lightning chick.
The white lightning one. I thought she
uh
was your favorite.
no, I
Okay,
don't
never mind.
recall.
Never
I was
mind.
just like, yeah, okay.
Okay, so essentially the short one, right? You know who I'm talking about with the lightning bolt on her
I do.
shirt? Okay.
Yes.
So both of them, they made it a point to say like they were ashen hair. So apparently in the horse racing world, up until Ogre Cap and the horse equivalent of the racer with the lightning bolt on her shirt, horses that have ashen white hair, they have a genetic defect where something's going on with their legs where they can't run. So the fact that they could run and they could outrun a lot of these other horses, it was, or these other racers in the series, it's a big deal. And so that's why it does feel like it's a very rocky and underdog story, because you have these racers who, based off of their horse counterparts, like they're essentially their genetic makeup is against them. So like they are racing against the odds physically and in a in other senses of the word as well. And I would say that like with me, I resonate with the series mainly because like it's also like around the time where it's like I'm also getting a little bit more serious in my own physical health. So like one of the things I've been doing is running and going to races and stuff like that. And so in the series proper, like they essentially like what Cinderella Grey does for me is what I wanted the series proper to do. And it was such a slingshot moment, like it was just so well done, where it's just like they talk about training, and what Jay had mentioned too is like you have uh your captain, oh sorry, not your captain, but you have your trainer, and you also have like your friends who are helping you train. And the thing that I never really liked about the series as a whole was like they set everything up as a quote unquote school instead of having them, race in racing leagues, right? So in the series proper, it frames it as like, oh, they're going to school. And then it's like, okay, what are they doing? It's like, they're just racing. It's like, then that's not really school. Whereas in Cinderella Gray, you have Ogre Cap's friend. She's actually learning. It's sort of like a support class, like how they have in My Hero Academia. Like she's in a support class learning on um uh sports medicine sort of thing. And she's doing what she can to be supportive to Ogre Cap. And so it's like little stuff like that along the way, but like as far as like what Jay was saying, it's like it's very, very well done in regards to the characters. And Ogre Cap has enough of the tism to where it's like she's just doing things on autopilot, and then like having other people coming in and changing like her perspective where like she can keep moving forward, and it's just or at least like do better, and what she has to do better in order to move forward. Like it's a lot of introspection, and like having her realize why she's doing what she's doing, because like it's, as you had mentioned earlier, it's like I'm running because that's what I should be doing, but not really understanding the reason why she's running, right? Just like that appreciation. It's like just actually like realizing like she's running because she's enjoying it, because like it was never really in the cards for her to run as she's doing, that sort of thing. And not only that, but like you feel that sense of everybody's doing what they can to do better, because with Ogre Cap's original trainer, he was only certified to do training at the district level, not at the national level. And Ogre Cap's skill takes her to the national level. And so, like, all throughout the story, you hear about the original trainer. He comes in and out, and he's studying so that he can help train Ogre Cap on the national level. So, like, you get like little stuff like that along the way, and you also get a good progression of things. Where she's coming up from a little town, going to the big city, and I'm starting to ramble on a little bit, and I'm doing more of the technical side of things and not necessarily like the personal side of things. But those are some of the things that had drawn me to the story and how they do things. And it's just that um, with this story, it just checked a lot of boxes that the series proper didn't do. And I normally wouldn't suggest the series proper to anybody, but I would suggest Cinderella Gray, because it does give enough of a background to like what the story is, why the girls are doing what they're doing, as far as performance, as far as racing, and it's so much better than the series proper. I haven't seen the movie, but I know I've seen a lot of the OVAs. It's a lot better than that, and like it does like a lot of different nuances stuff too. Because you have the racers going against international racers, and they talk about how everybody races a little bit differently. Talk about technique, talk about strategy. It's just very, very well done. And so that is my thoughts on Cinderella Gray. Now, with final deliberations, the polls are closed, the boxes have been sealed, and the numbers have been tallied. We here at Weebs at the Weekend have finally made our top 10 list for the year 2025. And we will be going through our list. We'll be starting at number 10, and our number 10 is City the Animation.
Number 9, Zenshu.
Number 8. May I ask for one final thing?
Number 7, To Be Hero X.
Number 6, Dan Dan Season 2.
Number 5, Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity.
Number 4, My Hero Academia, the final season.
Number 3, Gachiakada.
Number 2, Orb on the Motions of the Earth.
And number 1, Uma Musume, Cinderella Grey. I did not expect to say that on the end. That was
Horse girls always win.
I did not mean for that to happen. But that is our top 10 list. We bled and we discussed and we fought. But I think this is a very, very good list that we've ended up coming out with. And I really do appreciate you gentlemen for coming back on the pod to discuss this with us. And before I start the closings down, do you guys have any final thoughts, comments, concerns about our list or about the anime year for 2025 as a whole?
I want to see if you know this, but do you know which studio animated Cinderella Grey?
Oh, that I do not. The only thing that comes to mind is Psy Games, but I know that's not a studio. I actually
No,
do
you're right.
not know. What is it?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
that's
Psy
it.
Games
Yeah,
it
it's
was just the company that made the games. I didn't know that was
well,
an
their
actual
studio for animation is called Psy Games Pictures. So I was giving it to you.
Oh, okay.
But you also know what else they animated this year?
Arknights.
The summer Hikaru died.
Oh, did they?
Yep. They
Same
did.
studio, baby. Yeah. Horse girls and
Horse
that
Girls
was the
and
one thing. Like
Eldritch.
they also did an anime called Apocalypse Hotel, which I should have checked out. But
Oh,
Yeah.
I
but
did
yeah, I
hear
was like,
about
Psy
Apocalypse
Games had a
Hotel.
really good year for animation this year.
Yeah, look, just really quick. Side games are the example of using your power for good. Okay,
How
they
so?
make gotcha games, right? They make billions of dollars off of gotcha games, and they fund great anime. Okay, that's what they do with that money. Okay, that's literally what they've said. They're like, yeah, we make the best games that we can, blah blah blah, gotcha games, gotcha games, gotcha games. But they then turn around and use that money to make anime. That's fine.
Mm.
I don't think I've played a side game before. Maybe I'll pick one up. Who knows?
Oh
Maybe they
man,
deserve my money. Who knows? We'll see.
I don't know. I've had too many gotcha games on the mind. I think I'll just stick to the anime on this one.
I also can't believe you guys didn't put Sando on your list.
Really? Like I
I
felt
mean,
like
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I wasn't a hater, but early on, I had my doubts, and it kind of went full circle. But we did watch all the episodes, so I was like, maybe someone will put it as their 10th. Like, just interesting since the animation style is so unique, and it's an interesting story. Just it didn't land the boat, land the plane.
Yeah, no, it. Oh my goodness.
No, I left frustrated after that.
Oh, okay,
Same.
yeah.
I was not a happy camper after that. So
Mhm.
yeah.
I feel like
And I guess the last thing I think was Shiro. Is that his name? The dude that made Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo came out with
Oh, you're talking about
Lazarus.
the Lazarus
It
one.
just
Oh
yeah, it's like like it came out and everyone stopped talking about it. It's like
Yeah.
he's returned.
He's
The
back.
goat has returned, and then no one talked about it.
It was
It's
just
like
like crickets.
yeah, it's like the goat should have maybe taken some more time. I don't know. Maybe it was just like the voice acting or something because again we did watch it in English, but like it felt very flat. Um, I don't think there was a Japanese dub for it. Was there? It was only in English.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
an
because it was
English only.
sponsored by Toonami, so
Yeah.
Adult Swim. That's right. Yeah.
Adult Swim.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe by now, but we'll see. Maybe it's worth coming back, putting on a to watch list
Yeah.
because that's really a shame.
Yeah, because I had high hopes for it.
Yeah, Shinichiro. Okay.
Do you think like it might have? Yeah. Now that you mention it, like I feel like Well, is Toonami
Adult Swim.
renowned enough? I'm sorry. Oh, it's now Adult Swim. Okay. Because I was
No.
oh,
Toonami. Sorry. Adult
yeah.
Swim is like the studio basically that like handles all that stuff at late at night,
Yeah.
and they now also like within it is also Toonami.
Okay. Okay.
So like Adult Swim is like adult animation
Yeah.
in general, and within that is Toonami, which then has like that. But the studio, quote unquote, who owned the rights to like make it was Adult Swim. Yeah.
Hopefully, like it's not. Oh, I would say it's just like hopefully like Toonami will be able to pull out like a good original anime because like Ninja Kamui was also had mixed received was received with mixed signals, and then like with Lazarus Effect like doing something similar, it's just like hopefully this isn't like a negative trend for them trying to come back into making anime original stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there was also, you know, what was
Samaki.
it? Uzumaki. Yeah.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
a Toonami. Oh,
That
dang.
was a little fun too. Yeah. Yep. So far this year, you know, seems like 0 for 3. Or in the last 2 years, 0 for 3.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But we'll see. Legitimately, it might have just been casting choices. Who knows? I know with Uzumaki, it was not just that. But but at least to me, Lazarus felt that way. That it was very flat. So maybe the Japanese dub would be better.
Maybe. Who knows? Oh, I'm trying to think. No. They're not doing Virgin Punk. I feel like Toonami would do well with Virgin Punk if they picked it up. Um, because it's like that girls with guns like sort of vibe,
Hmm.
and I think like they would do well with it. But with 2026 on the rise, gents, do we have anything that we're looking forward to?
For in season 2.
Ooh, that's good.
Comes out in like 5 days.
Yeah.
I think this is the year Kagi Bashira comes out. I think that's this year. Um, it's like one of the new big new generational. I think also is it Witch Hat?
Yeah, Witch Hat
Atelier.
Network.
Yeah.
Atelier,
Yeah,
yeah.
Atelier. Yeah,
Comes that next
this
season.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, this next season. Anything else on the horizon? I mean, Fire
We did
Force will wrap up this year because they're
Mm,
doing their
yeah.
second core right now. Um,
We did just start Sentence to Be Hero, and that has seemed promising just from the first episode.
yes.
So I'm looking forward to that. Um,
I think Black Clover is supposed to return this year as well.
It is. It is.
Yeah, so under a new studio and like actually good, not good direction, but I think they're actually going to give it its time to shine. Oh, Slime comes back this year.
yeah,
Oh,
next
okay.
season,
Reincarnated as a slime. Yeah,
season
yeah,
4.
but yeah. But I think that's it. I mean, Wistoria as well
Yeah,
comes
Wistoria's
back.
coming back.
Yeah, so I guess a lot of sequel stuff, but I don't know any of the original stuff coming
Yeah.
out this year.
Oh, there's also
Oh,
the
ReZero also comes back.
Ray
Wow.
Zero's coming back,
Oh
and we
yeah.
should also be getting a sequel movie to Gundam's Hathaway Flash.
Ooh, talking about new anime. The I forgot her name, but the creator of Fullmetal Alchemist has a new series
Oh
that's
yeah, that
getting
one's
animated
coming
this
back.
year.
Yep.
What's it called?
Oh, it's a long title. It's like Brethrens of Demons or something. I forgot what it
Demons of
is.
the Shadow Realm.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, it's something
Yeah.
Oh,
like that. Yeah, yeah.
that's funny because I was just on it. Um, cool.
All right.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So, again, thank you guys for coming on. It seems like the next oncoming year is going to be fairly promising with some of the anime that we're coming out that's coming out. And to keep in theme with our with the year, New Year being the year of the horse, and we've talked a little bit about it off air, but with the uh people who love the Uma Musume franchise, they are now getting attached to the Broncos, and it seems like ever since they started supporting the Broncos, the American football team, they've gotten to the point to where they can go to the playoff for the Super Bowl. Just all this horse themed stuff. I figured that I'd close off
They
the
haven't lost a game.
Yeah, they haven't lost a game. It's
Yeah.
wild. Like
It's
just
insane.
say it again.
It's insane.
It's super
The
insane.
horse girls have saved their season. They have not lost a game since then.
And like I've seen a lot of cosplayers have been going to the games dressed up as their respective racers, wearing the Broncos jerseys, and it's also funny too because one thing that the NFL teams have been doing like the last couple of years is like whenever like they would do like their promo for like their game schedule, it's like some of them have been doing it anime themed. So now that the Broncos have a big Musume following, I wonder like how that's going to impact their marketing moving forward, right? If it's gotten big enough to where it's going to hit mainstream and they may, I don't know, anime their mascot or something like that. It'll be very, very interesting to see what goes on. I can only imagine where it's like they go to the Super Bowl and then we see cosplayers in the stand. How wild would that be?
That'd be really funny. Oh my god, people were already upset about Bad Bunny. Imagine the cosplayers come out. Oh, that'd be so funny.
I can see them like trying to like set up like a little mock race like right before like the game starts or like after the game. Be hilarious.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
But to wrap up the year and prepare us for the next year, I'd figured that I would leave you all, our dear listeners, watchers, viewers, our audience, our dear audience, with this quote that you would see atop of the president's room in Uma Musume Academy. Eclipse first, the rest nowhere. And with that, Happy New Year, and be a blessing to others. We'll see you on the next podcast.